on the pizza?
Yeah, the pizza.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Course,
lots of pizza, lots of different pizza. Well, nobody's in the back right now listening, but
yeah, they'll come.
Yeah, pizza for the team, baby. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, 20 seconds to go here. Had a blast. Some of my trades didn't work out today, but you know, if not today, then tomorrow. You know, you can always play again the next day, assuming that you didn't lose everything. And you know, so hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the day. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the show. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. It'll be lots of fun, and I'll definitely be sweating.
Like, subscribe, and share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
Banger.
Hey guys, welcome back in 2 o'clock. We are dealing with a negative market once again. Back to the downside we go. As yeah, I wonder what this is. SIVB just absolutely jumping off the page here, just dwarfing anything else that's on this board so far this afternoon. What a monster move to the downside for this thing. Yeah, liquidity issues, huge share sale announced after the close yesterday. Earnings were a mess as well. So SIVB downside in a big way. This afternoon, we'll keep an eye on that. But you can see the rest of the financial sector here being dragged to the downside with it, including FRC. I mean, this is a 15% move, but looks like nothing compared to 50, obviously. SBNY, KeyBank, Zion, CMA as well. To name a few to the downside in a big way. Diversified financials and insurance companies also red on the afternoon now, as are consumer discretionary shares under pressure as well, led by some of the travel names. 5.5% there for NCLH. We did get a nice bounce yesterday. Was 3+ to the upside. RCL, CCL, LVS, Expedia here. Caesars even downside as well. We talked about Etsy there off negative report for them, 5.5% downside. GE, the shining light up here at the top of the board, 6.3%. They reiterated their entire full year sales forecast for the remainder of this year. So great day for GE, back to the upside. Transportation names pretty strong as well, considering outside of airlines, they're really the only group to the downside today. 2+% across that group. Tech shares typically leading, depending on the direction, leading on any given day, but not today, in fact. Very, very quiet as far as tech is concerned, even though the NASDAQ holding up a little bit better than the rest. Healthcare still green, energy still green, utilities and consumer stocks as well. Still green on the day. I was waiting to refresh that to give you a look, but there you go. 1% right now for the S&P 500, the Dow and NASDAQ, all about the same. Pretty ugly. Down here as well, 4.5% now for Bitcoin, 1.2 there for Ethereum. As we continue to move to the downside on this Silvergate news that continues to unravel. We'll talk about what to make of it, I guess, as we've just been doing nothing but grinding to the upside all day long, even though they said after the close yesterday they will wind down operations. Really no time frame given on that, however. So hope your afternoon's going well. Let's jump into what we were talking about as far as opportunities available to you this morning, including SI, including Tesla was back on watch. It looked very weak initially on that investigation note that came out from the National Highway Traffic Safety Board on that investigation from back in 2014. We'll touch on that. We'll touch on chip stocks have held up pretty well throughout the day as well. But here we go, back downside. Neil is here. He's going to lead us off this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Welcome, trade of the day, and it's going to be Silvergate. It's not always about a winner or a loser. It's about what can you learn from. And I was all over SI. I was dreaming about this opportunity. I've been talking about short this name. Now you're winding down the business, but let's not forget. 70+% short interest. So you know there's a chance at a squeeze. I don't have to tell anybody what happened overnight with Silvergate. I mean, you were trading a few days ago. I mean, you're trading at 15. I have a 60-minute chart up just so I can show you how bad it's been. And then you had this interesting sort of consolidation off $5, short every single pop every single day. Then you get the absolute bottom. And sometimes wipeout bottoms can get really interesting here because shorts do have to cover at some point. So it drops at 5. You're in the aftermarket. I think it got down to like 2 something, down, actually probably even broke $2. And then this morning, it was trading and getting back up around like the $3 area. Not initially. Initially, we're trading at $2.60. And the first one, I sat down, there was a flat bottom break available at the 250 level. So I know I wanted to be net short. I paid for the locates. I just start by taking a quick little breakdown. And here's where it gets a little tricky. Because you made a 220 bottom. I covered on a 220 bottom. And it's like, okay, we're 1 for 1. We love it. The shorts are going to be good here. But on the way back up, this is the thing about a high short interest when you get a wipeout bottom. If you just kind of zoom back and look at what has actually happened here. You have the aftermarket plunge in beneath that 2, and then suddenly you think about that 220 in a different context because it's a little bit of a second high or low wipeout. So when it's coming back in here, yes, on my 3-minute, I am shorting in where there is a curl. So it's not like there's not a scalp timing thing, right? But I'm not really thinking scalp to trade. I wasn't thinking scalp to trade here when I'm holding for the bottom. So I'm not thinking scalp trade, so it shouldn't be getting in. When I'm reloading this one at that 250 level or just in front of it, if you're not thinking scalp trade and the high or the next big level is $3, then you can't be entering at 250. So should have been scalping it. That would have made it a pretty easy trade. Suddenly I worked off the pre-market high, was willing to stop it out there, and here's where it gets interesting. Because I know the next level is going to be $3. What am I going to do? I'm going to go short in front of 3. I'm going to load up in front of 3, and if it breaks, it breaks. We'll move to the next trade. I load up in front of 3. It gives you the pullback. Yeah, we're scalp demon, fine. But 3 entries, same level, never go back to the well that third time. Too much strength, get stopped out, and then it starts channeling. This is all in the pre-market. It hasn't even opened yet. Once we get to the open, it fails the pre-market high, which is to me my favorite setup in the world. So it fails the pre-market high. I'm all over it, just getting in underneath, looking for the hold of the high. Otherwise, we're going down to 220. So I know I'm going to take a L on that trade every single time. The only good thing about this trade where I was able to get something back is once it broke, I'm just looking for the top at $4. I'm not thinking about 370. I'm not thinking about any of that nonsense. Wait until it makes the push into $4. And once it pushed into $4, that's where I'm going to get in. We load up on the $4 and then actually double up when it wicks tops. When it gives you that wick top entry and you've already had almost a double up from bottom to top, that's where you want to go in. And here's where the issue with SI is. All you get is 360. Every single time. You're going $4, 10% into 360. It bounces, lower high, load up again, 380, 360. That's it. It's giving you a 10% pullback. So you're fighting it, fighting it, fighting it. I could show you what Coinbase makes a top and drops 10% clean, $7 move all the way through the lows. SI and that short interest is demonstrating what happens when you make the ultimate wipeout bottom. There's simply not enough sellers on that first day for it to follow through. So there were opportunities to get in and work the short, but you couldn't be fighting this name. The only good thing was getting away from the short, at least for half of the day. It's a trade of the day, but it's not because it was the best one. It's because it's a learning experience. SI for me has been a great short, but today on the worst news, it was pretty mediocre. And that's why it's your trade of the day. Brought to you as always by Day Trade the World.
Yeah, down like 22, or is it up 25? Because it was down 50 at one point in the pre-market this morning, SI. We'll continue the conversation here on that coming up because we're seeing a big move in crypto right now as well. Make sure you grab that every day, guys. Watchlist.tradertv.live. You can enter your email address just like Fahad did there and have the watch list every single day. Greatest of all time at gmail.com if you want to email Fahad. Don't, because that won't work. Here's Bitcoin right now making a move through 21,000 currently. So big break on the way through 21,000 as well. There is a little bit of support over here, maybe, but we'll see what happens here the rest of the afternoon. Pretty ugly candle forming. This is a daily chart now for Bitcoin. So we're below really the last line that Bitcoin had. Ethereum holding up a little bit better, trying to hang on to this level right now, 1,500. Has let go. We're below that, but this is still support going back to February. So yeah, negative for cryptocurrencies this afternoon. A lot of that coming on the back of this SI story, the latest to come victim to what has been just a crazy year for cryptocurrencies. This was a headline this morning. If you missed it in the pre-market, the entire group was downside initially. on this. Silvergate saying after the close yesterday that they just can't deal with withdrawals at this point and will succumb to the aftermath of this FTX mess that kicked off the selling. So another one goes to the wayside because of FTX, it would appear, although as we saw from Neil there, SI back to the upside all day. It's just been a grind all day long. Higher. Wanted to mention this real quick as well. We'll keep our eyes on SVB over here. If you missed it after the close yesterday, nearly a $2 billion share sale announced after they raised some liquidity issues as well. SIVB is more on the VC side, so more on the startup side of things as far as the banking group is concerned. Let's talk a little bit about crypto, guys, because 4.5, 4.7 now for Bitcoin downside. SI to blame.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, look, I was going to say, we had JP Morgan. We talked about selling off JP Morgan as well at that 140 level. Do you see what the hell JP Morgan's doing today? It's straight downside, and there's this move. We talked about this. Remember, sell JP Morgan at 145, 144, buy it back at 130. You have that opportunity today, but yeah, what a disaster. I know Neil was talking about being red there on SI, mainly because of those pre-market trades, right? I think Neil and I did pretty good. I only have one trade on SI today, and that was waiting, as we said we would, for $4. We were going to wait for 380, but then 4 came. We saw a fail up top, and then basically my talk is going to be the same as Neil's here, as we talked about SI and grabbing that, and then all the way down. We got some good outs here on the 200 period. So SI today for me is a pretty good name to the downside, but again, patience pays. And I still am kind of surprised at the amount of shares. I did think we'd get a little bit more than that, but yeah, down now 21%. You know, at its lows, it was a lot worse than that. Neil actually brought to my attention as well, Coinbase today. I mean, again, I talked about how much I've been hating this stock for a very long time, and look at this move to the downside here today as well. Coinbase down that 8%. Yeah, look, I mean, cryptocurrencies are going to have to just be one of those things that you sort of put in your long-term portfolio and not really worry about looking at it unless you're scalping it. If you're waiting for a huge moon to happen, I just feel like right now, man, I mean, this is Bitcoin right now. Don't need to sign in. Cancel that. You know, straight move to the downside right now on pressure, right? Whenever the players in the game are offside, I feel like you are going to get some negativity coming through. And there it goes with the crypto market. Nice downside move right here for Bitcoin today. But yeah, we've done really well, man. We're going to come in here, and I know we keep on saying this over and over again, but I'm still short Meta right here. We're $4 in the money on this Meta short, so there's lots happening. It's a nice downside move here today. And yeah, Neil, SI, you have SIVB up there. I don't pretend to know enough about this. I'm just trading what I know, and these names are tough to trade.
Well, I just want to say, some people in the chat were like, it's not halted up. It was halted up. At least I'm watching this SIVB. It made a bottom at 105, just to go over it. Like, it made a bottom at 105 and was just halted up at 116. It's opened up. It looks like it's a bit of a relief rally happening in this name. It's not. I haven't traded it, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I have traded it. We can talk Coinbase all day. When it's not your day, it's not your day. Because look at this 15-minute on coin. I think I've been short coin. I think, like SI, I've kind of been short this name most times, but there was that good short off of $4 on SI, which there's nothing wrong with short $4 on SI. It worked. You can't complain about the fact that it worked. However, I said this before, at the same time, this is a 15-minute chart. You guys count how many. It's going to be hard to do. I know it's difficult when I have this chart up like this to be able to count how many green candles there are in that down move. So, it's a really big challenge. I'll let you guys know that it happens to be one, and it's literally the last one right now. And it's not over, so it could still end up being red. This is about as simple a trend as you're ever going to get. Like, you compare that to Silvergate today, and there isn't a comparison. One isn't an upward trend. Yes, when it got to $4, you could have made a bunch back, but really, you're talking about uptrend versus downtrend. So you can short into an uptrend and it can work and get winners, but ultimately you'd rather be shorting into a downtrend. If I'm mad at anything, it's more that I've taken out. Like, I've taken out my NVIDIA short, I've taken out my Amazon short. I'm sitting in Intel because if Intel works, I hold on to it forever. But yeah, it's one of those types of days, and it can be frustrating. You just got to be able to move on there a little bit. I do have Apple because it came down to the level I waited all day for. And now we got it. So we'll see what happens there as we're going to get off these. I'll monitor that SIVB, but I doubt that's something I want to be trading at those lows. because the trade risk reward might only be off of 100. So unless it makes a really big pop, I don't think I'll be trading that SIVB.
Noting Charles Schwab here getting hit on this as well. A few mentions surrounding the same sort of situation maybe coming to float, but 10%, almost 11% now for Schwab, trying to bounce off 68 even there for SCHW as well. Big move down for some of the banking group today. We were talking about the chips this morning. No real news catalyst on this outside of the fact that they were very strong late in the day yesterday and appeared to be setting up for that same type of a move. And depending on where you're looking, like AMD was amazing out of the gate today, so strong versus the overall market. Gets all the way up there to 88, double tops nicely. And then we've since gone red, guys. So red to green and back again.
So I'm going to shout out Don here for a second. And look, we'll talk chip settings in a second, but Don had that Palantir pegged at 850. So I just wanted to give him a shout out because, and hopefully this will be actually right when I go here. He said 788 yesterday. And so here it is. There's 788. And yeah, good move. At 850, at 855, I want to say there, Don. It touched $8, but the follow through ended up here today. So, fantastic. It kind of made a double top there. I know I had longs off 820 at least. You know what's interesting is I was long this all day at 820. And then it eventually actually took out the low like late in the day. And then look where the high was. So if you shorted off the previous support level, all you did is win. A little bit of a learning experience there. But NVIDIA, I sat down and thought NVIDIA is a short today. You had that monster 242 in the afternoon, 242 and a half. I just wanted to work off of that high. So we're short it early. I did make I like to call it a colossal mistake very early on. So I was working into a short because this is the stock I was focused on. But I set my stop at the high for the full position before I actually got to full position. So then I went over, did not get into a full position, got into a long, which is absolutely no chance that I wanted it, had to take out that long for a loss. I then worked back into the short, which was great. It went 243 all the way down to 241. I'm reloading it for scalp trades. I had a brief foray into the long, and then once I decided it wasn't a long, it bounced off the top, lower high, then I'm looking for the short again. Shorted it twice, 42s and 40s, and I tried one shot at the 238 long off of this level here. It just carried through even further than I would have anticipated. So that was the one that I was pretty much focused on. It just came down to when you see a level like this, a lot of like over and over and over again, you're almost thinking, can it retrace the entire thing? And until it holds above a price like that, you want to look for that short. Resistance is resistance until it's not. And along that vein, I'm in Intel. You have to zoom way back, and I said that this morning. This trade was not off of any of these highs. I was going back to it's a 22nd here. Ooh, I love 22. 2690 was a wick top, and then it was just flush city. So as Intel got parabolic, I simply waited for it to get into that range, and then just started shorting it in between that 70 and that 90. Most of it in the 80 to 85 range here, and I'm still hanging on to a piece of this, but it got to the key price level. That's the real difference. Because if I'd done the same thing in Silvergate and only shorted it at 4, then I'd be up on Silvergate today. I'm not. But until I waited and only shorted it when it got to that price, the market's going to help you out in a situation like that. But you wait for those key price areas. That's the key. Wait for key price areas, be patient about it, and then all of a sudden you're going to have a little bit more conviction if you're trading around a key price because there's going to be better liquidity there. Everything's going to make more sense. You'll be more confident where your out is. All of those things are going to all come together if you trade around a key price.
All right. Yeah, Neil was talking about some of those names. I'm going to look at AMD here today. It's the #1 name on the sticky note, and it's a long, and it was cash as per usual on this long for AMD. We talked about the way it was moving over the last couple of mornings, and I mean right here, it's just a ho-hum. Long at 85, out all the way up to 86. That's 86.25. Look at our last out. 87.60, so that's $2.50 worth of a win right there for AMD. Long again, long again, long again, until we finally broke, this level. And then we got out of it, which we're like, oh man, I can't believe we got out. And then boom goes the dynamite all the way back down to the downside. But hey, man, this has been an absolutely amazing day. And I feel like people say like, oh, you know, Sean, every day is an amazing day according to this guy, right? But yeah, it is actually. I'm thrilled to be here trading, and we have some great shorts on. And again, as long as we can be long bias, and as long as you get out, then you have nothing to worry about. You actually had another chance to get out right there as well at 86.40 on the way down in there. So, I mean, AMD, again, well traded today. Now I'm thinking about this bottom here at 84. That could be something that we look for. I want to still hold on to the shorts, but we are getting to the point now where we may take, remember, I mean, I said this yesterday, I've been saying this all week, that we're going to have to come back and test 12,000 one more time. So we're getting closer to that right now. It's 12,100. I don't put it by, you know, possibly even going down there today again. Some of these names have retracted back a little bit right now. So, you know, maybe there is going to be some strength with AMD. We know when the market goes, there's a great opportunity for this to go as well. So, yeah, you know, it's good. We're happy, but at the same time, I'm just not sure about pushing along right now on anything. So I'm going to stay looking for shorts only. And AMD, though, again, it's close. Actually, okay, my number one stock profit-wise today is going to be Apple and then Google. But right behind it, Google and AMD are basically tied. And how is that possible when the market looks like this and AMD is one of my top stocks only going long? Well, that's how, right? Go long early. As long as it breaks, you get out, and then you watch what happens after that. So it's a nice move to the downside there for AMD. But hey, we made the money on the long. Might be time to pick it up now, though.
Initial move down in the overall market right at lunchtime, I think it was, when that budget proposal came out from the Biden administration. President Biden himself making some comments right now on that proposal. So just be aware we could get another move maybe in the market. Here's Apple, 0.6 now, downside. Remember when the 8-ball said the market was only going to be up today if Apple was up? It wasn't wrong. It did have a good start to the day overall. 154 ended up being the sticking point for Apple. This was from Bloomberg after the close yesterday. They announced they were going to shake up their international sales operation with more focus being put on the India market as a whole, putting more significance possibly behind that as well. Maybe another step towards departing from China somewhat, guys.
So just a correction on the 8-ball, because the 8-ball said the market would only be up if Apple was down, which is what the 8-ball, which didn't really make a lot of sense there. So the market basically, the 8-ball saying the market was going to be down today, which I guess ended up okay, but it's just the way that it played out was just a little bit weird. So look, Apple was actually not a name that I was looking at much this morning because, quite frankly, I don't think I had any short levels that I really liked on it. I did have a long level that's at right now, so I am in the long, tried it once. It took out the bottom and then actually got to that yesterday's low. Kind of gave you that little over-under, which it just took. It just broke 152, so I got a little bit out there at 152. Going to look to rinse and repeat off those lows. The market's at its, like the wick bottom on the NASDAQ that got put in, it's at that bottom at the same time that Apple is going to be here. If you want to look at the higher time frame, if this gets back underneath like a 150, you do have the 50 period. I mean, you zoom back and you can see you have the 50 period, but it's a 200 period that's at 147. I think if we actually break 150 tomorrow, and again, we have the huge jobs number tomorrow. So obviously you have non-farm payrolls tomorrow. That can do anything to this market. But if we end up continuing to the downside, then 147 becomes a pretty big level for Apple to watch out for tomorrow. Has to crack 150 first. I'm long off the lows right now. We'll see what does happen here. And just one other look. Someone had mentioned this. It's not on here, and I wanted to bring up General Electric. Big move in GE today. It is setting up for a flat bottom break right now. 92. It's at 92.35. It faded off to 95. I thought if it cracked that, the shorts in front of 100 would have been good. It never got there. But just watching for this flat bottom break. There's a few names that are haven't participated as much in this fall that were they to crack down, we got some room for them to come back in here. So if we actually get to 12,000, let's say, or the ES falls beneath 39.5, I think the flat bottom break for GE is in play.
Yeah, I like all those flat bottom breaks. Check out, I'm not really going to talk about Apple too much. You guys can just look at the chart. We're still short this name. We were short up here off the morning. Boom. I mean, this is why it's my number one stock. We're taking dollars. We're not taking cents. Look at this. 154 breaks below VWAP. And we just got our spidey sense went, man. We're short. And Dan Emmons, as soon as we went off the air, you know this. We talked about that live. I was like, okay, I'm short Apple. And there's Apple short. We're still short 154. It's at 151, so it's a nice win. Well, 152. Sorry, the bottom was 150, 150. I'm actually getting close. I mean, I know Neil's long right now. I'm getting close to getting out of this. You know, I was trying to do a better job holding, and we did. We got a good trade here, but you know, it's just a monster move to the downside now for Apple. I'm going to get out when we take out this 50-period moving average right there, and we're getting very, very close to that. So 152.20, we're out of Apple for a $2 winner. It was 250, but hey, what are we going to do? That's a good trade there. I'm pretty happy with it. We've really changed our style, and we've really done quite well over the last little while holding on to some of these names. I mean, we could talk about Meta, we could talk about SI, we've already done that. You know, look, the only thing, well, we're going to get to Tesla in a minute, but look where Tesla is right now. That's going to be an interesting story when we get there. Let's go back over to Brendan, because we're going to talk about Tesla now, and I'll come back with it.
In the way of news catalysts today, outside of that investigation, as we mentioned, back to the upside we go here, guys, with the overall market trying to bounce. That pre-market level, 2.5% still here for Tesla, 175, ends up being tested twice here. But again, if you missed it, just another investigation, just another, I shouldn't say it that way, but a fatal crash happened in 2014 in California involving a Model S. The government going to look into that. That was really the headline today. Overall, I mean, decent range, but really could have been worse here for Tesla.
Could have been a lot better. Yeah, so we screwed this trade up. I mean, I can't believe we're looking at this and saying we took $2 and we screwed it up. But the thing is that we didn't screw the trade up at all. We screwed up the execution on this trade. And this is kind of what happens when you have 200 fills. You get carried away. And the problem was that when this was coming down, we waited for this move on Tesla. We actually wanted the short today. It's on the sticky note for the short. So it's good that we at least had some of this talk earlier on today, but we were short right there. We let it make that wick top at 185. We got out at this is 185, right? This is a 183.50, and then I was like, let's take some out for $1, and then we were initially going to wait for 183, so I got that out, and then basically in the same candle, it came down and hit us at 183. And we didn't really have another opportunity to reload this. Down goes Tesla today. And again, look where it's bouncing off of some of these pre-market levels. So although Apple just faded back again, bouncing off there, that 50 period we did not get out, almost. There it is making a move down. Tesla, unfortunately, again, an absolutely banger trade. But at the same time, like, you know what? Let's just call it what it is. If this would have came down to 180 and it would have looked like this, first of all, I might not got out there, but I might have got out back here when we took VWAP again. So that's like I gave up $1. And then I think worst case scenario, or best case scenario for me, I would have held it for this level right into here, 181. So there's almost no way I would have had this unless I was sitting here, which 12 o'clock, yeah, probably was here, watching that break. But of course, you guys know we have Apple, Meta, SI. So missed opportunity there for Tesla. But yeah, nice downside move if you got it.
I think it's bouncing off 175 here. Maybe just a psychological level because you have an 85 top, you had an 80 pivot point. Yesterday, 80 was a level. So bouncing off 175, I guess, makes a little bit of sense. Tesla, the poll this morning was whether Tesla was going to see 200 or 150 first. I think it was like 54%, so almost 50-50 what people think. I cast my die in the under. I was betting it goes to 150 first. I'm just the 200 period. I'll forget about it because ours aren't split adjusted. But the 50 period is at 165, and I've heard that thrown around a ton. I think that's the big level for tomorrow. I had a short that I didn't hold this morning. I think there's a lot of those that are going to be out there. I just feel if the jobs number comes the wrong way tomorrow, then I think we have some interesting levels of support, previous support, that are going to come into play here. And Tesla is in the midst of a downtrend. I think that's pretty clear, at least in the short term, I should say, because once it broke that 190 and had that last fail at 200, that's when it kind of broke out of the consolidation we were in for a few weeks. So you are trending into the downside there. And once that happens, I kind of feel like that major moving average is where it might turn, and that's a big might. Nothing is written in stone when it comes to Tesla. I just want to point out Rivian didn't trade it today. I paid for locates on Rivian. Didn't get it because I was paying for locates here, and by the time I actually paid for them, it was already down at VWAP, so I didn't chase the trade. So this is back beneath that sort of magical, mythical, whatever, $15 level, whatever you want to call it. And I do like shorting pops into this. If we do get a chance somewhere around like 1475, 1480, I would like to take a shot at the short in Rivian. Not just because I paid for the locates, but I see something as having a flat bottom break. And someone asked, I think Steve G asked, like we keep saying it, what does that mean to me? Well, it's a good question because we say it all the time. So an example, and this is hard because it already did this. So for some reason, it doesn't let me pull this over. So if you look in the afternoon, you would have had 1475 holding yesterday. Then in the pre-market, and then right at the open, you had a dip right into the same price. So for 2 days in a row, you would have had 1475 with a gap underneath. By a gap underneath, I mean more room beneath it than you necessarily have above it, and that's a significant break. Now that's a minor one. You want to short it and then play the momentum break because that's where a lot of stops will be placed. The bigger level, the bigger flat bottom break, I would say, is when you find something on the daily chart. And it's not really, this isn't as big of a flat bottom break because you had some support at 44 and then you had a dip. That's what I think is a big flat bottom break because when that broke it on earnings, that's a monster level. So flat bottom break can mean intraday, it can mean on the daily chart. In some cases we flip back and forth, but to me it's a short whenever that happens. So I'm thinking a short when that level breaks.
All right, I wanted to wrap up here with Disney real quick. A few people mentioning it throughout the midday. Bob Iger was presenting at it was Morgan Stanley Day or it was Disney Day at the Morgan Stanley Tech and Media Conference that's been going on all week. So Disney making some comments today, a few of those a little bit questionable, and it was actually Bob Iger that was there apparently. So for streaming, he says they have a lot of rationalization, there we go, to do from a pricing perspective. And then Bob Iger also saying the company definitely thinking about windowing and exclusivity for content going forward on other platforms. So that caused this break initially to the downside. Was watching when those came across. You can see a little bit of a volume spike. So not really received well, I guess, as far as streaming is concerned today, guys, for Disney.
I haven't really looked at Disney, but I think all these streaming, I mean, we talked about Netflix, we got out of that one a little bit here, but I just put a tweet out right now. Where are we covering this Apple trade? I mean, this is just like, we almost got out, yeah, maybe 150, but like we almost got out there and we told you we weren't playing longs or anything like that, so I'm not gonna go long on any of these levels, but like we almost got stopped out there, right? So that was pretty close. And now it's down another $1. Awesome. Like I almost feel like we're missing something here, but the market is really getting down and so is Apple. Apple's not even down as much as the market yet, but look at this name absolutely puking all over itself. This is a $2.50 winner right here. Short, we're reloaded. Short to the downside and it's still going, man. I mean, the same thing could be said with Meta too. It's resisting that 182.50, but I have an out for this. I'm thinking like this 182.60 in case it stops going down. We initially long Meta, made that money, and then flipped over to the short with the professor on the midday show. So that's a great trade there for Meta. But let's go over to Disney. I don't know anything about it. I haven't looked at this at all today. This is sort of the first I've ever heard of this move down. But we talked about it with Bob Iger and everything. You know, that bump that it got that day when Iger came through was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Disney made it all the way back and all the way back in again. I don't like this name. Their streaming to me is meh. I mean, they released Mandalorian. It's probably great, but I haven't really heard that much about it. And so I don't know. If there's any streamer that I'd like to be in, it would be Netflix. I don't know, man. I mean, they have the parks business. Like, they're always going to make money. Disney's going to be fine. I don't see any reason really not to own them. But, you know, they don't have that dividend anymore. They're down here, $88, $90 is the next stop for Disney. I mean, for me, though, I'm just really proud of the call that we made here on JP Morgan as well. And the reason why I just go from one to the other, it's kind of like blue chip names here. Disney, back to the U.S. banks. I mean, this has been absolutely spilt today, back down to that 130, 144 to 130 right there. We were talking about that, and we got lighter on our JP Morgan trade just for this reason. I don't think I'll buy it back, but yeah, a lot of these names starting to go to the low side there. No point for me to talk about Disney. I haven't made a trade on it, and honestly, I don't really have too much of an opinion. I don't know if you were looking at it, but Netflix is more aggressive for me.
Well, just showing Netflix. So I got out at the low of the day on Apple. I wasn't waiting for the 151 level, but Steve G, you're right. 151 is a flat bottom on Apple. Let's see if it actually gets a bid there. It could be at the same time as 12,000, just discussing Apple. But Netflix took out 300 today. So maybe we get there. I have no idea, but 270. If you look at on the way to this 390, there was a double bottom at that 270 level. So I'm looking back at this and saying that just feels like a zone where there's going to be some interest. It's 10%, so I don't even think we get there tomorrow. I feel like it's pretty unlikely we're going to see any of that. I don't really have an opinion on Disney. I'm ashamed to admit that I have yet to start Mandalorian because I haven't finished Bad Batch. And I kind of do them one at a time. So once I'm done Bad Batch, I'll let you know how great Mandalorian probably is. But can it hold up? I like it long term. You're fine because I don't think they get the respect for their parks that they should. Like the amount of cash cow that is for them. I'm not sure it gets treated well enough. But I don't really see a trade there. I feel like I'm looking for that 270 for a bounce opportunity in Netflix. Whereas I'm not sure what I would do with Disney here. I mean, failing everything, so I guess it's a trend short beneath 100. That actually makes some sense when you look at it. But that would have been a trade for earlier today. So.
No.
Oh, we're done the rundown.
All right, we're done. Yeah, the professor's talking about OCEA. Let's have a look at this quickly.
That broke 10. It broke 10.
Right now, yeah, broke 10. Nice move. Nice move. Okay, so Professor 840. Yeah, nice move here on OCEA right now, just getting to its highs again. We talked about 10 being pretty key, and we nailed that dead on right there, man. I mean, back and forth at this 980 level, up to here, halt, back down, up again, back. Don't know where the halt was there. Should have halted, it looks like. Back in again, and then right now, just really respecting. I mean, you don't get to see too many technical levels like this on names that are moving like this, where it's really held VWAP all time. That's this blue, so it's really held it the whole way up. So there it goes again. I would say let it go, man. I mean, at this point, still upside. You can use 980 as your out right there, but other than that, it's a beautiful move up for OCEAN. I do have an out right now. It's getting close for Apple, 70. I just want to get out if we break 70 right here. So a move back upside for Apple will take $3. Meta's getting out of control because it's starting to break right now. 183 is my out here for Meta. So that's coming right back into play right now. Meta 183 out. And then, you know what? Here. So because this is going upside right now so badly, I'm going to try to short Meta right here and get out. Okay, now it's starting to go. Let's short Meta right now. There it is. So we're short. Let's use 183.25 now as our out. And if we get out there, we get out here on this. So that's what we're going to be. Let's see if it can work. We're reloaded on Meta right now. Let's see if this one will work to the downside now on a nice little reload here for Meta.
Yeah, just looking at NVIDIA trying to make a move. We got to bounce on Apple at 151. I wasn't sitting in front of the bid. Apple. I just wanted to make sure it actually held that level first. It has done so. But I want to quickly address OCEA. It has already done a wick top to 11. I did have it long earlier in the day, but I kind of got away from it when it failed to $10 earlier. So if it does not get through 11 here, I feel like there is kind of a pullback beneath 10 that could happen. But if it breaks out, just keep in mind, it's got some serious room. I think 13, 14 could be in play. The last top was at 12. So it's got some room if it were to break 11. But without breaking 11 even, the shorts are in play for this afternoon. I'm not taking anything in this just yet. I want to be very cautious with it. Just going back to NVIDIA, which I think is a bit of a trend short ever since that break. I thought maybe you'd carry to 238, which was a big level. It's actually turning at 237 now. So I'm going to be I'm going to go on the cautious side and say, let it break 37. 38 is the price I like better. Why 38? Afternoon support at 38, and then you had like a $2 gap in between it. So I'm just looking for that to be the price area that I think is a little bit more significant on this little bit of a pop that we're getting in the market here. Because right now it's a little pop. Like, it's not a big one just yet. I think it's a little pop right now, and I want to be very cautious with that short. But I do like that OCEA for a retracement, and I did pay 6 cents a share was pretty cheap for us. So I'm just looking for a pop, fail at 11, short in like the 80s, and then kind of coming back in. But if it does that and takes out the top, I'll get away from it.
All right, I was going to retweet this out. On to the next here with Apple, as we just got out here on that one. So there it is, man. On to the next one with this Apple trade. It just hit us out at 70 there, so we're pretty happy with that one. And let's just look to see what we want to do again here with Apple. Oops, sorry, that's Meta, my bad. We're still into Meta. Meta is going to come out in a minute. We took only one small out there for Meta. It is starting to go back up to the upside, but there's our out right there for Apple. So good for that trade. This is the problem. The market's approaching this 50 period. So, you know, some of these stocks that have been getting crushed today do have the opportunity to retrace back up, right? So don't sleep on any of these longs right now. We're staying in the pocket. We're going short again, but we are getting close to getting stopped out here of Meta. Just through that 20-25 area we'll get stopped out. But we're short right now at 99, so we'll take a 20-cent hit on this if that does happen. We just got some out at what, 84, I think it was, yeah, 85s there on the way down. We're bidding again at that level. It's just a small little 15-cent trade. If it can come in, we'll take that fill, and then we'll wait for a little bit lower here on Meta. So there's our fill, and there's what we just got out, and then now we'll wait for a little bit lower, and just now it looks a little bit better now. We can zoom in, we can see some levels here. That's 60s, so there it is. Yes, sir, let's go. Wow, man, this has been a great day here again. So there's the reload on Meta short. All we're doing is stacking it up. Now let's just change so I have another bid here at 68. What is that level? That should be probably 58, but we put one at 68. Let's see if it comes down, and then we'll put another one right here into the 20s, and maybe we do just continue to retrace lower and lower and lower, and then just, come on, let's go. We just put this trade on, and it's 30 cents for you, so there's a banger for you. Hopefully you can have it. We could still wind up losing on this, man. This liquidity is pretty tight right now. Like one little move up, and we're going to get smacked. So let's just keep that in mind here for Meta. We'll hold the short now, but we're going to wait for a lot bigger move now that we've taken out some profit. So we're playing with house money. Let's see what happens here with Meta.
Yeah, and look, we're about 40 cents away on NVIDIA as far as I'm concerned, so I didn't want the 37. It's at 37.5. This is OCEA because I was about to make a look on that when I go to NVIDIA here. It is making that pop up. First level, didn't think it was good. I think 238 is where I want to grab the retracement short, so letting it bounce a little bit more before we engage in anything there. I think it's going to get there. It looks like it's going to get there, but OCEA,
there we go. I
want to go one at a time here. It's starting to pop up here, and I think this is going to make a run at that 11. As I said, I am looking for a short off of this one. Here comes right now NVIDIA. So where's my first fill? I want 70s. Did I get it? Did I get it? Gimme always gets. Don't you know your manners yet? Give me the fill. Give me the fill. There we go. You get complain enough, you'll eventually get it. So just allow it to go that extra dollar to the upside before shorting it at the key price level. So I'm into NVIDIA. I would have liked to get more between this and 238. Clearly, it doesn't want to do that. So sometimes it's good if you don't get the fill, but then other times it's like, well, then you don't really get the fill. So you don't have everything. Let's see how it works back into that 237 level. This is a decent bounce. The good thing about this bounce is Intel didn't really bounce. So that's fantastic. I will short Intel if it comes back to VWAP, which is about 26.65. But for now, NVIDIA is actually making a move, whereas Intel isn't. I just got a little bit of a scalp trade out, but that's so that I can get more shares in this range, like 38 into like 38.5. So if we pop any further, we'll go for more shares in NVIDIA, just paying ourselves out along the way to make it work. And then back to OCA. These are the two I'm watching. It already... Yeah, you know what? Let's wait for this to actually make a move. At this point, it's kind of boring, to be honest with you. I need it to spike up, maybe trap some longs in there, because the consolidation is the best play. Sharif consolidation long, and I'm pretty sure, I had a consolidation long in here. I think I'm pretty sure he took a consolidation long and then let it break out. So if you're looking for anything other than a long, you want it to break a top and fail a top like this. That's what I'm looking for. Break a top, fail a top, short it. Break a top, fail a top, short it. So until that happens, probably nothing to see with that one. But it is the small cap that I'm watching.
All right, so we did get stopped out. We'll flush ourselves down the toilet there on our meta trade, but we went back into the long. I'm going to try the long here. And we can zoom in here just to see. I'm going to try the long off of this bottom of 70. Let's just see if they wanted to buy. I remember we were in this trade and I was like, it wouldn't go down. We got two fills on the downside. We took a very, very small long just to be able to watch this. So our bigger long is coming in right now at O's. So if it can come back down here, let me just double check this. I am bidding 05s right now. So if it can come back in, that's O's exactly. So I feel like that's a decent price. The fact that we're long 31s, look, it's going to matter. My offer is 184. In order to make any real money on the shares that I have right now, this needs to go up. So if we can get it going up, that's great. We'll have it. We'll make money, hopefully, up to 184. Why are we using 184? That's right where the 200 period is. So we're not long anything right now other than Meta. We're still short SI, which is 50 cents in the money right now for SI. SI has been a very good name for me today. Let's just wait to see here. Now it's starting to go back up. We're waiting for 184. I would love a little bit more of a drop into 183 again, just to get some more shares. But sometimes, what do they say? You don't always want what you wish for type of thing. Like, I don't need this thing.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for. Good one. You don't want this thing coming like crazily back into this level, but I just felt like if it dips, let's see it hold, then we can get back up to the upside a little bit. But I'm not comfortable taking the trade now because my fail spot, I don't want to lose like more than 20, 30 cents on this trade because right here we battled with a 15-cent winner before eventually losing 20 cents. So yeah, I don't want to give back what we made on this initial short here back down. So let's just not sort of, I don't want to say diddle in the middle, but it's like this is not a key level right here. So let's just wait to see if we can support this for Meta. Remember, Meta's still up more than the market. So if we do get a retracement back up, maybe we're wrong. Maybe the market's not going to 12,000. It's just going here and stopping. So it's a nice retracement back in, but more damage to come here for the market. So I'm being careful. Look, we're an hour away, Neil, from basically the close of the day, and then we have tomorrow's ADP.
It's a huge number.
So it's a huge number tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pretty risky to put on a lot of shares right now.
Yeah, when you think about the move that the market, so we had an inside day yesterday. Market didn't really break the range one way or the other. Sorry, I was about to say something about SIVB, but it was an inside day yesterday. And in front of the bigger number, we get this kind of a move. I would say there is a lot of risk of like whipsaw action, positioning before the number, which can get really ugly when you have some firms positioning, which is like, oh, I got to take some risk off before Friday into the jobs number. Oh, I got to put some risk on. It can be all over the place when you see that. So just be a little bit cautious. Trade around those key prices like we're trying to do. This SIVB, it feels like maybe it's got some gravity towards the 100 level as it just keeps sliding down there. I would look for, so I'm watching OCEA for 11, but there is a little cheeky trade. If this were to get to 100, kind of do the old dipsy doozy, like down underneath 100, slam back to the upside and kind of give you maybe like a 100 or a 101 entry, let's just say. Obviously, I'm talking about it not breaking like 99 or 98 or something like that. So breaking 100 but not breaking the level lower, coming back up, going for a long off the low, and then just see if it gives you one shot to halt to the upside. Like risk $1 to try and make like 3 to 5 and then hold the rest for, kind of, I guess, for the dream. There's not as much time for that to work, but crazier things have happened. And when you're trading something like this, you're looking for shot plays more than anything else. You're not really trying to scalp it. Speaking of OCEA, here it comes. It is making that run at 11. I have it on another screen. So if it breaks that top, I am looking for the quick little failure and then jump into the short, give it to the high of the day, and then look for the easy retracement. I have not gotten more of NVIDIA, but it is starting to come back up. I heard Sean say, here we go. Yeah, here we go. NVIDIA is trying to make that run to 238.80. 30, I should say. Never mind. 238.30-ish. That's where this consolidation was. So 238.30. I'm going to be short in front of that level. Probably give it like a 50 stop even.
I was sort of saying it to the downside there because Meta's breaking down lower, but we've done, while you were talking.
Oh, as if.
Yeah, we went long there and then we got some out. So we went long at 05s and got out 25s in the same tick right there. So, and then we just got another long right here at 89. And look where we are right now. I'm not even like paying attention. Let's get another piece out right there. Whatever. We're just 10 cents in the money again on all these reloads. So I'm actually waiting at 9s and then again at 16s. There it is. Yes, sir. Let's go, man. Awesome. They're not huge trades right now, but I am nervous about these longs. So like, I don't want to just scalp these. I do want to scalp them out. That's what I'm doing, but trying to hold, like we're only out of a very small piece here. I don't know. Like I'm try to get something out at 16, like I said here, just because that's sort of right there. I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys here. But we've just reloaded some of these short, like that. These are the longs, long. So now you can see where my average price is. So that we didn't have very many shares right there. 182.96. So here it comes. We're only giving it to right here. If it breaks, we're gone. So now the market's starting to get going back to the downside. This is what happened to me yesterday or 2 days ago. Remember, I was getting frustrated, and we wound up going the other way on AMD when we should not have. So again, quick out right now coming for me on Meta. We break through 70, man. We are gone on Meta, and then that's it. Bob's your uncle. What's up to Bob? I saw you in the chat again today. Shout out to Bob again there, man. But there it is. There it is, man. So look what we did. We're messing around with Meta at a level that we shouldn't be right now when there's not much happening. Our initial short was right here, 183. It would be 40 cents in the money. You know, but instead we messed around with it and we wind up losing 40 cents anyways, 20 on the short and then 20 on the long. And yeah, now I just throw my hands up and I'm like, why do we do that? So let's just go back to stocks that might make a little more sense and aren't kind of in the middle right now. We just should have stayed short Meta, but that's okay. Market rejecting the 50 period as well. So we'll give a little bit back. Now it's not my number one day this month, but we're still right around there. So let's wait to see what happens with Meta. Our initial play was short, that 183 again. That's okay. We mess around with the long there. The long is not in today. I'm learning every single day, man. Don't fight this market. Just take what it gives you. That's it.
And also, look, you got to take what it gives you. That's the best line. Because you'll see, like, just after I was discussing OCEA, I finished my thought, went over, got the fill, and put an order out in NVIDIA, looked back, and was about to try to grab a short, and OCEA dropped $1. That is how fast it happens, man. It's just like sometimes you just got to take it. Just take it, take it, take it. Just take the trade. But I did get NVIDIA, like I was saying, it was getting more shares of NVIDIA. It came right back into the half. I think we're probably headed to the low. I want to take every single pop that we can get in this range. We're just going to get back in here on the offer. Like you get into it works into the short. And once it curls, it's like, whoa, that's even more violent than I expected. Like you throw a bid, it runs right through you and just doesn't care. Like we're still flushing here. There's no reason to think we're not headed down to the low of the day. So it's like accumulate until we actually break that low. I keep checking back in on GE.
I'll call it up.
Sorry, there you go. I kept checking in on GE to see if we get that flat bottom break. Good for you, General Electric. General Electric today feels like it's immune to this move, so it's not even breaking any of this. Like this. It's kind of disgusting. And that SHV, there we go. SIVB. Why do I think it was an H in there? That halts to the downside at 106.50, let's just say. Sorry, I have to hit enter twice there. And it's indicating a 105 open. So I guess we're headed to double digits on this stock. Look, very likely it's going to get to 100. I don't think you double tap 105 Meta without getting to 100. But wow, this market is right back on those lows. I wanted more of NVIDIA. I'm not even going to get it. And now I'm questioning. I said I like 151 on Apple, but I already took one swing. Sorry, I already took two swings. Swing and miss, swing hit. Third time, will it be a charm off 151? I'm not terribly sure about it. But what I am going to do is back off the bid, allow it to fall, see what happens down there, like what kind of support, and then try to join a move instead of make a move. Join the move. I'd rather join the move than make the move. Here, you're trying to make the move. Here, at the same price, you're trying to join an up move. Which one is better? I think that goes without saying.
I'm just so frustrated because of where Meta is right now, but yeah, that sucks. Look where Meta is. Our initial reload was at 183, but downside move. Doesn't matter where you've been, it's where you're going. So see a Meta to the downside right now. We'll see if it can hold that. I do have another trade idea though, and that is AMD. AMD just came right back into this level. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit here. I'm just using a 1 minute chart right now. That might not be the right thing to do, especially for scalping out, but I'll look for this for levels and then maybe we'll use a little bit of a larger time frame on where to get out. But it's all lining up together, man. 85.20. So that's gonna be a level there. If we can retrace back up to 85-ish, we'll start a short for AMD against that 85.20 right there. Let's have a look at that level one more time. What's up, Brendo?
There was a comment actually on Meta, guys, from the COO also at this Morgan Stanley conference saying that Meta was a little too late to the trend of using GPU chips in its data centers. So just be aware, the Meta COO making a presentation, it would appear, at this Morgan Stanley event.
Okay. Alrighty then.
I like that SIVB there, halted again.
This stock is insane. You know what? I saw this in the chat, and someone was like, "Why don't you short the easiest stock in the world?" You're right. You're
Coinbase.
Right. No, it's like no. I have the worst looking. I already showed you guys the Coinbase chart, and it's like, how many days do I have to short Silvergate instead of Coinbase? You know, before it's like...
Look at Silvergate.
I mean, Silvergate's working too, but like Coinbase is just easier. So this is getting down to 100. It's pretty obvious that that's going to happen. But I think it's at the price point where you are looking for the bounce. Like here, you're wanting to short 125 or short 120. I don't think you want to short one... I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I've shorted a low like that, no matter what the chart looks like, and it's worked out for me. I can't... I'm racking my brain. I cannot find it. There are shorts like this that work or shorts like that, but not after multiple halts to the downside. Like, it only started halting beneath 120. So to me, like 120 made sense. That area made sense for a short that halt. It just only halted there. I'd rather see how it responds to the bounce off 100 and then work something different, because, you know, bounce off 100, which if you took it, congratulations, scalping it for like, you could have scalped $5 with $1 worth of risk, depending on liquidity there. But I just don't see a great short off these lows. I'd rather be looking for a pop and trend continuation. That's just the way I would prefer to do it. OCEA, I'm going to have to put a fork in that one. I don't think it's getting back to 11. That's your dump. It already happened. Liked it off 11, but I kind of wanted it at 11, breaking 11, trapping longs. Didn't happen. You get the level right, but the execution matters too.
All right, we're short right now. Okay, here we go. So AMD now finally starting to fall down a little bit here. We always take out 10% for a dime. That's the rule. So let's see if we can get a fill now at 71 right now, just for a little bit. And then we're going to try to hold the rest, because I'm seeing what Meta's been doing. Straight fire to the down. Come on, just print through 71 now. We can get our fill. I don't know if we're going to get it. Go through it. Go through it. That's okay. There's that last short, 90s. So we started the short rate at the 50. There it goes. We started the short rate at the 50 period. Then we got it again, and now I'm just trying to, that 65 bottom. Okay, so we just got 71. Let's put another bid now at 65. So this is how I'm kind of trading these, is just trying to look for some levels, because AMD today, although like I was saying, it's my number. Well, Meta was there as well, but that sort of got taken out by some of that last move there for Meta. But AMD was a long for me today, so I am biased to the long on this name. But again, I just feel like we found a level there that if this market continues to go down, I do feel like AMD should be able to work. We're below on the 3-minute. We're below everything everywhere. So let's just wait to see what's happening. It's been a nice move to the upside. So this again, I hope I'm not just stuck in this trade. Hopefully we're not. Hopefully it comes back down and gives us a fill. That's a new position for us. But look at SI right now. I know Neil did it as the trade of the day, but for me this is going to be an awesome one here. As normally, we don't have this kind of patience, but we're still holding SI all the way back into 345. We only had one trade on this today, and it was the short, and we waited for it to do this. We literally waited for it to do this move. This was another one right there into 380. We were offering 380 and only went to 75, or we probably would have had that move, but then all the way back up, that's where we said, okay, we've seen some wicks there, 420. Let's take a 4 short. We're short at 402. Hopefully this name continues to collapse down. I'm just waiting for a VWAP break. If that happens, great. We did get a little caught up there by getting out at 85, but our best out 63, which is 40 cents. Now we're in the money, 55. So let's see if SI can continue to work. And there goes, is that AMD? Yes, it is. Just gonna make sure it wasn't Meta, because if Meta was crashing, I'd be even more upset. But there goes, well, probably is anyways. But there goes AMD. Yes, let's go, man. Nice trade for us on AMD. 20 cents back in the pocket again. Let's put a bid at 65, see if we get another piece out. But we did just get a 65 bid. So we'll see if we can get one more, and then we'll hold 70% of this one back in. There's the 65 bid. So where are we going on AMD? This is a good area, 55, all right. So let's put a 55 bid here. And look, if I only wind up holding half of this, then I'll only wind up holding half. But if we're gonna come back into some of these levels, let's just take them out. So there's a nice short for this. We're short now AMD 84.85. And like I said, play the damn trend. It was Meta that screwed me up there. There's my short, and there's me getting out. So that's a short at 83. We only held this 30 cents or 28 cents against us before that. So let's see what happens now. I feel like we want to do scalp here until this market really starts to collapse, which, Neil, we're right here right now. We're back at the bottom.
We're right at the lows. I'm disappointed.
Oh, God, we're both short all the chips.
I'm just disappointed that NVIDIA is not at the low. It's at a bit of a level here. So,
yeah,
you know, kind of if it doesn't break this now, with the market testing and trying to break the lows, then I'm probably going to grab out of this somewhere like 236, 70s, 80s, just get out of the trade and kind of work back at that 38 level. If it does break the bottom, then I hold to the low and short the next pop, which I think will be a lower high. And I keep, if you see me looking over, it's not even OCEA, it's at SIVB, because, you know, maybe there was just a short at 110, and I just said you don't want to short the lows on these things, but man, you could have just had 09s to 10s and done it the other way, got like $5 for like $1 worth of risk. It's like just pretend it's an $11 stock and treat it that way, because that's how it works sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to go over to that one. I think there's I just said it. There it goes. You're trying to bounce. Gimme, 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 gimme. So I'm gonna get out of NVIDIA, kind of follow my rule. Like, it bounced off this enough times here that if we get a pop, I'm gonna short into the next pop. If it breaks the channel down, then I'll find the next consolidation. So all I'm gonna do is kind of do one of those. I don't know. We need a basketball one because
we had one.
I don't have. If we have a basketball one, I don't have it. I don't have that one though.
No. I know we don't have it now.
Because it's NCAA right now, so I want to do something where like dunking or doing a shot. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. Those are the animations. But I want to try to play this off of like some kind of a good level. It's beneath the Hall price. It might need to take out 100 before something real happens. But until that, let's see how it responds to 110 the second time. Because if I see it get to but not break 110, then I would look for like a curl trade. Here's the scary thing about this as well. This is actually, it's easy to borrow, which you don't usually see a stock like this. It's easy to borrow, but anybody can short this, and any prop trader isn't paying a dime to short this. So it can make it a bit of a crowded trade. And my history usually is, as a day trader, the ones where it's free to short can be very dangerous when everybody is shorting it, especially when it gets to a low like this. So that's kind of the apprehension at the bottom. It's a little different. I wasn't even looking at this when it was at 145. I mean, during lunchtime, we have other things that we're doing. But yeah, that's where you want it. You want it at these levels when it's breaking down. It gets trickier when it overextends down here.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I was just laughing because I rolled up the rim and got like a free entry into a draw for Tim
I thought
Hortons.
you were going to say.
Like, what? How is that even a prize? So I messaged my wife and she's like laughing at me. So, all right, so there it is right now. We are out of half of AMD, so it's going to be a good one right now. We'll slap a fail on this name. I'm going to get one more piece here at 6.9er if we can. If it does pull back in one more time, fill us to the downside right here. We are short at 87, remember, but you know. Who knows? There it is. Just cracked in again, breaking through 69. So give it to us, baby. Nice downside move one more time here for AMD. We're just working this up to 85.20, but we do have another short coming at 85, just in case that one comes through while we're gone. But we do have to go over to Brendan at the big desk.
Into the final hour we go, guys. It is a widespread sell-off at this point, but banks are leading, and specifically this move in SVB igniting some of the selling in the banking sector. Financials under huge pressure here. If you missed it, $1.75 billion in a share sale announced after market yesterday, as SIVB raising some liquidity or possible liquidity issues as well. That, of course, following the decision from Silvergate to wind down operations entirely. That's the way the board is looking right now. Yeah, pretty ugly. 1.5 now for the S&P, the Dow 1%, the NASDAQ 1 and change. Look at this, 5.25 now for Bitcoin, accelerating to the downside. Our crypto markets right now, Ethereum following suit, about 4%. Apple back to session lows. I was going to mention Sana here was on the watch list this morning. Yeah, holding up really nicely. Off earnings. Decent report for Sana, guys. Trying to hold 21 right now. No volume, but holding up anyways.
Any name that's trying to hold a bid right now, we have to go find that. So good job there. You know what I actually wanted to look at as well? You just talked about Asana. Let me just look at JD quickly here because this was another name that reported today. And they're even down more now. Yep, okay, so they're right at some of these bottoms here as well. JD 4150, wow, this name. I remember when we were going parabolic on the Chinese names, and it was Xpeng, and I was like, that name needs to be shorted for sure. Look at JD, boom, like, wow, there's so much money being made on the manipulation of a lot of these names. It's mind-blowing, you know, how the Chinese, I believe they're just Chinese markets, you know and like algos that are state-sponsored, honestly, that run these names up, and then they just let them go, and then the rest happens on this market. Look at XPEV. You know, this was another name that we had talked about here on the daily chart. Like, I mean, why these names move like this? Like, it just gets run up, and then just like,
you know why.
Boom. That's what I'm saying. This is state-sponsored activity for sure. All the way back down to 650 again. Like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of names that look like this, so let's not, like, you know, say too much controversy.
But that was a flap. Oh, you have XFEV up.
Yeah. I mean, I think they all look like this.
The 44 break was crazy on that.
And I just feel like This is the problem. Like when you can just release news and then just be like, yeah, this is, this is what we're doing. Like, okay, China, blah, 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 blah. So they sort of know these stories. Like NEO is a state-sponsored company. When they went down to $2 or $3.
But we know it, so it's fine.
Right, so it's just, we all know it. It's all good, but it's just like, I'm just telling everybody that, when these kind of moves happen on a daily chart, it's kind of like, China can just come in and say whatever they want. They could be long NEO right now and then just come out tomorrow and be like, oh yeah, we're going to be really diplomatic with the US. We're going to support all these ADRs and blah, blah, blah. The next thing you know, it's going to be up 20%. They cash out and that's that. So, put a tin hat on me, but I think it's real. And I just think it's very, very dangerous to hold any of these names in your account, especially when these moves are just so dramatic. And when we have real money to put in here, I think if you're either playing with the trend or you're not. And I just think like these names, it's hands off for me. Probably happens on US stocks as well. Like, I mean, come on, AMD, what was it? David Tepper comes in a couple days ago and says, I'm buying a 4% passive stake, or I don't know, whatever the limit was for passive stake. He went in there and bought AMD. Well, I mean, and since that day, I think it was, let's just zoom in a little bit more here. We can go find the day. Let's go find the day on AMD. What is it, right here that he announced it? 76 all the way up to 86. Wouldn't be surprised if they're selling it right now. He comes out the next couple days and says, we're done on AMD, right? So, it does happen everywhere. It's not just state-sponsored Chinese equities.
No, 100%. Look, I want to say, I talked about this SIVB, like over-under at $1, but I'll tell you, that usually when something breaks 110, goes to 110, 110.20 was the wick top. So like 20 cents above, gets back under. It's like, okay, where am I getting the fill? Short, 109.20. Not 109.80, not 109.70, 109.20. So like that was, you know what I mean? It's like you're looking for like 50 cents underneath the price, another 50. So if you're trying to scalp it, which kind of at this point, I don't want to hold on to this, it's at the bottom. Like that's double it ended up being double the actual risk because of the price that you get. It does work down to 105 and it is continuing that trend into the downside. So it was a quick, it was a quick few bucks on that trade, but the spread opens right up. So you got to be careful with this. I should have got back into NVIDIA. NVIDIA now tracking to the downside. I'm going to go for the next short pop, but just so you know, like that worked on SIVB, but the spread really does open up there. So it's just not the same kind of trade that I'll be accustomed to. I do like LUNR, but I think we're getting down to the low here on NVIDIA first, so I might have to be engaged in the next. If it bounces off the bottom, look for the next little pop there. But LUNR, someone said, look at this one. I do like it. It is setting up pretty decently. I'd like to see it actually, now that it's broken VWAP with this market the way it is, I'd like to see this maybe get back up, give you fills closer to 16, and then work that kind of a short. Just a little bit easier risk to reward on something like that versus SIVB. And I'm just talking about a trade that worked, but darn. Like that was crazy. There was no liquidity for like a full $1 on that trade, despite doing so many shares.
Are you just out now on an NVIDIA? Or was that a while ago? Weren't you short NVIDIA?
I was. I got out a few minutes ago.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because I was just going to say, because I just covered a little piece of, I just wasn't sure if like we're covering at the same spots, but I just covered a little bit right there on AMD as well. And we talked about AMD, fail. We were long it. This is the life of a day trader, right? AMD is my #1 stock long early, and then look at the ability to flip over your reasoning there. The market, trade the market, man, and that's what we got stepped off on with Meta. We just got caught off guard. We went long there. Instead, we should have just kept on going short. We found a name, Neil, great trading on Intel and NVIDIA and everything like that. Good move right there to the downside for us on AMD. There it is. We just got a bid right there. We actually got 28s. So not a bad fill at all, but we still got shares, baby. So we're still in this one, and we still got 40% on. So that was a good trade for us. We told you we were holding 50% of it. That's an out right there. Look at SI, man. SI collapsing. I mean, I know it's hard for you to follow my trades and Neil's trades and figure out what we're doing. That's why we have that on the bottom there. But, I mean, you want to talk about, again, here, right here. We set, I mean, all right. Let's just go over this real quick right now. So I have something out called the Sticky Note. I don't know, my name's Sean, I don't know if you know that, but the Sticky Note is out right here. This was me 20 years ago when I started my journey. Thanks for all the love on the Throwback Thursday. This is last Thursday. I got to take it down. We'll see if we can find another one for you right there. But look, the Sticky Note today. Look what SI says. $4 SS. What does that mean? Silly stock, you know, struggling stock. Nah, short sell. So look where we're short right now on SI. $4 right there. This was written at 8 o'clock. $4 short on SI right there. We talked about it. We even wrote it in here. You got to show more on this. There's a lot written here, right there. Watch top side of $4. I'm short. So there it is right there. I mean, hopefully you guys can see that. Just for some trade ideas. It's not always going to be right. We had AMD long written on there. AMD long is the #1 name on the sticky note today. And it's my #1 trade to the long side early. Boomed it out right there. So anyways, let's just continue to watch as AMD continues its slide to the downside. By the way, I saw the professor. He fits swimmingly in the Big Bird costume. So that's going to be coming up tomorrow,
Well,
guys.
that one fits.
And by the way, you're out of here
That
at what
one
time
fits.
today?
Oh, so yeah, I forgot to mention
Because Fahad is in the building.
somewhere in the last 10 minutes, I have to catch an earlier train. I got a bunch of stuff that I got to get done and take my daughter to gymnastics. So I got to packed. Hey, we have so much that we have to do in the next couple days. I'm going on vacation to spring training, so I have a few appointments that I have to make. But you got Fahad here for the final 10 minutes of the day or so. Just a couple of things before we go to Brennan. One, Intel cracked the low, so I got some more shares out in front of 30, just kind of holding this. Maybe we'll be in it all day long, I don't know. Usually, I always say this, if an Intel short works, then I should still be in it at the end of the day. And we're at 151 right now. So instead of making the move, I wanted to wait. You're now beneath 151. It made a 150.92. It's back above. Now I'm going to look for the long trade, holding that low, if it holds a low on Apple, that is. Brendo, what is up, bud?
I just saw SIVB back on volume here, guys. They are talking about it right now on CNBC. So just be aware, anyone watching this, we could get some movement with a potential CNBC move.
I'm sorry, now they're talking about it?
Wow, CNBC
But they haven't talked about it yet?
They're very. Well, we don't know if they've talked about it before or not, but
They have to have.
CNBC
Of course they have.
always on the ball. Okay, wow, 103. I mean, this name. I mean, I don't know. CNBC bump be damned. I mean, I don't know where this thing's going to bump to right there, but that's 102 right now, and looking to break lower, lower, lower on this name. So I still think you could short. I mean, I don't. You got to watch out for your share sizes because when you're wrong on this name, you are going to get toasty. But I mean, there it goes.
Wait for it. Look,
Wow.
100's going to break, man.
I mean,
100's going to
100's going to break. You're going to have to cross to 99, I'd say, if that happens, and then you're already out $1. But I don't think that that's a big problem for many traders. So I would say, yeah, man, giddy up on this
Your
trade.
min risk is $1.
Yeah, exactly.
Minimum
Oh, wow.
risk is $1. Minimum.
Minimum risk, yeah, that's exactly. So there goes AMD, by the way. We just got another fill down there at 40, so we're getting lighter on this trade now. We only have 20% left. That was a really good out down there back into the bottom of the day. So we talked about having 50% out. Now we only have 20% left, so that was a good play there, and then out again now. So we'll still hold this back in, but so far so good. And honestly, I don't know where to get out on SI. I mean, we're still short this name, and there it goes. This is funny because SI, how does it look? Look at our Apple trade too. They're very, very similar charts here, SI and Apple. We had the tops, and then boom to the bottom right now. Look at this. We have the top of the day on Apple, SI. What else? That's about it. And then our Meta trade was a pretty good short, but definitely not the top. And now Meta's kind of funny, man. I think Meta wants to bounce. So I feel like if there is a long, it might be Meta here, but we've already danced around with that one and made a mistake. So let's just hold off on thinking that we know what we're doing on Meta here today. But that was a good one there. I still feel like we want to sit here and wait around for AMD to come back in a little bit, but I still look for some more. Okay, you're still in Intel.
NVIDIA's a triple bottom right now, so I'm thinking that's going to bounce. Although I'm in Apple because I like the level better. If it's not a big level, I don't want the long. And Apple's at a big level at 151. I see in the chat someone said Apple's retracing the March lows. I don't disagree. In terms of the trend, I don't disagree with that. It's just it's 312 right now, and at this time of day in power hour, when you get a move like this, we're still above 12,000. I do think risk to reward. Would I rather risk 20 cents on Apple, or 20 to 25 cents on Apple to get a bigger move up, or you're probably talking about you're in a swing and you're looking for it to get back down, to 145. I got no issues with that. I got no issues with that notion. More day trading. So I'm kind of looking back and seeing, okay, the weak support. And by not like the weak support, I mean like this week's. support, I should say, if that's the correct way to go about it, is this 151. It also coincides with the big gap fill that we had over the weekend, sort of gapping the 151 level and then carrying through. So this is a pretty significant price level. If you bounce at a significant level, fair enough. I do need to give it some room underneath, but I don't want to give it everything. And so I'm like, you see me like smirking right now because I'm watching out of the corner of my eye, I got my eye on this SIVB, which quite frankly, yeah, I get it. This is the most entertaining thing in town, and I understand why everyone wants to have their eyeballs on it. So it just bounced again off 100, this time to the penny. 100 even, it's just bounced off this again. I'm not going back to the well. If it goes back to 110, I'm not shorting 110 again. I don't think that makes any sense because if it goes through 110, if it goes to 110 again, I feel like you could have one of those breaks and then a halt up. A halt up could give another level or an area to short. So that could be in the cards. If this were to go up, halt up again, release some pressure, then you could look for a reload short. Maybe that'd be like 120 or 125. But this is bouncing 100 right now, and that's a pretty strong bounce that I don't want to be fighting, guys. So you could be long this off 100, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not just taking the darn thing long off 100, but it's hard to like a long in the stock it's doing what it's doing. I went to the short and it worked so quickly that when you see the shorts work fast, you don't want to usually long stock. Here, it's going into an up halt right now. So I'm going to let it halt to the upside. Now that I've set it, please halt. Come on, go into a halt, halt. It's at 108.15, about to go into a halt trade, guys. Come on, do it, do it, do it, do it. Here, it's 15 seconds. It's now into the halt, indicating early 109, but that doesn't really matter. Check back in 5 minutes, then we'll see what happens. If it goes up again, makes another leg at 120, I think that's where you could get a bit of a relief. Farm Trader, thank you for the super chat. That's a lot of apple fritters. They only cost a couple of bucks. Thanks for SIVB. I'll throw this back at you guys. Thank you guys for SIVB, because all we saw in the chat was talk about this stock. Why aren't you in this stock? Why aren't you looking at this stock? Why aren't you analyzing this stock? And you're right. Down 60%. Chart looks like this. I mean, that looks pretty interesting to me. Finally got in there, and it's like you take one trade, and it's actually not that bad. Take $4 or $5 out of it, decent win. I just didn't. Man, that 100 long is probably absolute gold. Like, should it really be that easy? It shouldn't, but I suppose it was in this case. It shouldn't be that easy.
No, great trade there. Bad time to go to the washroom.
Wow.
Yeah, we were looking at that 100 trade, but good job on that one as the market and SIVB continue to go. I just tweeted out like, hey, you, SI, what say you right now? I'm looking at this 340. If it breaks 340, we're going to get out right now on SI. I keep saying like SIVB, but that's not. That's what you were in right there. So that's a great trade. All right, I'm just putting stop order in right now for SI at 340 right now. All right, we'll wait for that to see if that one comes through there. SI right
Tesla
now,
broke one. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Tesla. So Tesla to me is just a bad situation because this was a name that we had early. And again, just right to the downside. Another sticky note name that we had here today, Tesla, 180 short, we wrote down here. So again, the market's going to break, and that's fine. We talked about that back and forth. The only thing that I need to do is not look at different names, not do anything. And I was talking about this with the floor manager back there, Gregory, and he's just like, bro, instead of taking 4 names, like maybe focus and get big shares on your best idea. So that's what I got to work on, is try to find the best idea, right? And then work with that, because honestly, all these bangers that you have, it's like when you add them all up, it's like if you take 4, so this is the thing, if you take 4 all longs, for example, and the market collapses, then you're absolutely screwed. It's better to probably work off 1 or 2 ideas instead of jumping all the way around, right? I mean, today I've done good, and we're only red on a couple names, but like, for example, Amazon, right? Like, this is another one that we were short early on here in the day. We got out of it and then left it alone, but then it kind of just went up to 96, and then this move. I mean, look, you're just cherry picking any of the shorts. I mean, any of these shorts work today, but it's like, short here at 95 and then leave it alone. Normally I'm up here reloading this thing at 96, but because I'm looking at other names, you kind of do get distracted from those, right? So it doesn't matter. We had Apple, we had all these, it's all good. And just like right now, we have AMD. So like just as much there as obviously Neil made there on SIVB. We made just
What is the name of that company?
I don't know. We just made just the same amount here on AMD to the short side. It's all about like your shares, and that's the one thing, man. When you're sitting here on a prop floor, we have the ability to load up or whatever, basically decide however many amount of shares we want to put into the system for a risk, right? So, I mean, that's what's good. Focus on what's good for you and just continue to trade how you're making money. That's the number one thing. There's traders behind us that will be rebate traders. We heard some congratulations when Europe closed. Traders looking at Europe.
Yeah,
Sharif and Luca were talking about that today, especially at Day Trade the World. We have over 60 live markets that you can trade, right? So not only that, I can call up for you right now. I don't know if I have entitlements, but we can call up Brazilian, Brazilian names, things like that. Wow, oh my. Okay, AMD, I'm just gonna sit at 04 and take, okay guys, what's up, Katrine?
Hola, like and subscribe today.
So when I just stepped out there, I went into the hallway, I saw Katrine, guess what I said to her?
Hola.
Hola, Katrine. She said hola.
The problem now is that everyone that passes her in the hall is going to be like, hola.
I don't know. I guess that's what you do?
Well, I only did it once. But it's cool. I like it. It's fun.
I like it too, but there it is right there, man. Let's go bang. Let's go to everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody. We didn't give enough love to you, Farm Trader, I feel like. Thank you so much for that 50, man. That's what we're talking about right there. Let's go bang for that $50 to Farm Trader. Let's go what's up to KND Flips. Let's go what's up to John Sproul. Let's go what's up to Mohammed. Let's go awesome to Mike Cron as well as we go, man. What a
You know the market's
amazing.
down when like I just caught one of the traders on the TV. They were showing Dow's down this much on the other channel, and they were taking a picture of it on their phone. So you know it's a rough day in the markets when everyone's like, look at
down
their.
anyways?
I have no idea. I never. You know what's weird? I've been trading for a very long time, and it's like I'll get home, maybe I'll have, at times I have dinner with my parents or whatnot, and I'll say something, and they'll ask me how the market did. My dad will be like, how'd the Dow do today? I'm like, quite frankly, I have no idea. I mean, like, the NASDAQ was down 1.5 or whatever, but I have no bloody clue what the Dow did.
holy crap.
Yeah, so this is getting out of hand.
AMD.
We're now, this is ugly. I'm just gonna pop a bit at 26 on Intel. Why am I even letting it? Why get anything out? We're going to the bottom. Whatever the bottom is, and the bottom's 26.
What was your Apple? Oh, you got out of Apple. I was wondering
No,
if that
Apple
was...
broke 150. Man, 151. Remember, because we were talking about
I cannot
151
believe I didn't hold that.
for other reasons, but now we're there. NVIDIA, like what the heck? I mean, NVIDIA, like I just got out of this.
Yeah. I mean,
I had a lot of shorts on NVIDIA, just not the last one, which the last one would have been 36. That's the thing about days like today. Is like you can talk yourself out of it, and Tesla broke, and I was kind of focused on other names, and Tesla broke, and I can cancel that, it's not gonna happen. Tesla broke 175, now you're just abjectly failing all over itself. It's just like, this is what it looks like when the market defecates on itself. We're just headed southbound. I can hit that, I can hit toilet flush. If you were in shorts, congratulations, that's what it's all about. The only thing, and this is weird to say, the only thing that was a good long, well, maybe not the only thing. One of the only things that was a good long this afternoon was SIVB off 100. So that was okay. And even now, I said I wasn't going to take the 110 short again. As if it went to 110 exactly, pulled right back into 105. What is this stock doing, and why is it that, like, it's usually a stock like this would not do this twice, just give you 100 to 110 twice and come back in without running people over, without running stops?
Wow.
As if. It doesn't even make any sense how this stock is trading. It should be running people over every now and then, but it's just not doing that. It just rejected 110 even and is about to retest 100. 100 break just to see what happens? I don't know. It's very tempting. If it goes to 100 again, it's breaking 100. And I think I want to just try to scalp that break. We'll see what happens. It's not there yet. There's some time for it to get there, as long as it doesn't halt on the way, though. I would not want to get involved on a halt past 330, which it might be when it gets there.
Yeah, the thing is, because it's a New York, it's a NASDAQ stock, so we'll open up for one last print anyways. But
yes, that's true.
Yeah, so we're just going to be like, wow, for this AMD trade. I mean, look at this, man. I'm just tweeting it out right now. Longs early, shorts late, as this name is just completely collapsing down to the downside right now. 84s we got out. We thought that was pretty good out, but yeah, now 83 and change. Still making a huge move to the downside here today for many of these tech names, man. It's been absolutely disgusting. We could run through. I mean, here's my watch list. I know it's going to be a little hard to see unless we somehow, it's going to be hard to zoom in and out of this one. But if you just go by all the changes here, JD down 11 right now, Lyft down 9. I'm talking about percentages. PDD, forget about it. Coinbase down 7. Wells Fargo down 7. JP Morgan down 6. SoFi down 6. Square down 5. Netflix down 5. Palantir down 5. Baba, everybody. Tesla down 4.5. Snowflake down 4.
Can you do me a favor? Can you spin the money right now just for a second?
Yeah, I mean, I can always spin the money. That's what we're making.
That's for you, KL. He just asked me to. I don't have that key. That's actually Sean's key on his Stream Deck. So his SPY puts 400% in the money.
Yeah, of course it is.
I was about to say you're goddamn right. Well, I can't say it. No, I shouldn't say it.
I mean, you just did.
I did. Damn it.
So congratulations, KL,
Congratulations.
man. I mean, let's spin it for everybody, man. I mean, look, I know a lot of accounts are getting absolutely liquidated today, and I know it hasn't been a great day for a lot of people around this office, for sure. But honestly, man, this is what it's all about. Like, I don't like, personally, I like celebrating because we're showing you guys here on the show how we're trading. And just really, the whole purpose of why I do this is to show everybody that if you have the proper skill set, the proper passion, the proper knowledge, you sit here every single day. Do you notice Neil and I basically never take time off? Like, there's other people that are swamped or exhausted or burnt out, all this kind of stuff. That's great. Nepa, not this guy. It is about taking time off. There's nothing wrong with taking time off. But like, I wake up every single day and like want to get in here, like, no doubt. Now we're going to Rome. You're going to. I'm
going to Paris.
Wherever, Dunedin or wherever.
Well, okay. I'm going to Dunedin next week.
Yeah, like you're literally gone next week. But like honestly. Be quiet, Siri. Siri just didn't understand something right there. But you know that Siri doesn't understand why I don't take breaks. I think that's probably what it's asking. It's like, I don't understand what you're doing. But honestly, man, it's the passion that drives it. And what I'm just trying to show, anyways, segue, is just that this is possible. You know, these tweets that I'm putting out, these are real trades. There's real traders behind us. And sure, a lot of them are starting out. And like I said, there's a lot of traders that aren't going to be positive today, period, because it's been tough to trade. But you got to kind of stick with what you're doing. And this is why I tell the guys in the back, stick with your strategies, be patient, and don't just give up on what you're looking at because it didn't work 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Give yourself like a sort of a
wider time view. Have a wider time frame.
Yeah, exactly, and give that to you. So there it is right there, man. It's been a really good day for me. I'm not opening up the RSP. Forget about the long-term account, especially on a day like today.
Look at that once a quarter.
Yeah, once a quarter, or what? Yeah, it depends on how active you're going to be trading it. But for sure, I'm just going to wait. We have a disaster coming tomorrow in the jobs, so we'll wait to see what happens. Well, look what we did, right? Regardless of what happens, we had a good number today, didn't we? Didn't we have a good number today?
But the number
is this on?
But tomorrow's is a bigger number.
I know, but this was well received. It was. We were up 1%. Everyone was so happy with this number that came today, right? It's a cooler number. It's a cooler number. Can you believe that? And the market goes all the way to the downside. So there's our long when the number comes out, out at the top of the day, and then top of the morning to you, all the way back down. So look, I say disaster number tomorrow because what's going to hold the market up? I mean, let's just wait to see. We saw 5
monster revision on on January.
Yeah, there's going to be something. I mean, the market's going to move tomorrow.
They'd have to revise January pretty large.
But what a good day this was today.
Yeah, look, they'd have to revise January. I think that almost matters more because it'll probably watch. It'll come like in line or something, and then the market's not going to care and dump off more.
That, yeah.
But like this, like the XLF is getting crushed. Brendan just said it's off a cliff. Yep, absolutely off a cliff. In 3 minutes, we're going to get an early look on the imbalances, which I think could be a little bit of a doozy. I have Caterpillar up here because I'm like, oh goodness, I was like, yeah, on a day like today, because I just took, look, it felt like it was a mistake taking some out of this stock when it was in front of that 250 level, because it's like, don't sell at highs. And I'm like, I don't care. But this is, I think some of these better performing safe names are going to come to some prices next few weeks that are going to get interesting. And I know this could certainly be one of them. I'm kind of looking at 225. If that doesn't hold, the 200 period moving average is a buy. I know that much for sure. That's not to be overly pessimistic, but that's kind of overly pessimistic. Brendan said this is off a cliff. Really? The financials are off a cliff? Yup. That's the XLF today. Look at that. How's that for a trend? You think SIVB is trending to the downside? That's not doing too bad itself there. Brendo and the small cap recap, Prad. See?
Yeah, brought to you by True Trading Group. Shout out to TTG, trading education, premium tools, mentorship, and community to help you learn, trade, and profit. Click the link in the chat. Check them out, QR code, bottom of the screen there as well. Pretty ugly afternoon here, even for small caps. We saw the Russell 2000 specifically hanging out a little bit better than the rest, but otherwise it's been pretty ugly all afternoon. OCEA, however, doesn't care whatsoever. Right back to session highs currently for this Ocean Biomedical after a positive note this morning. There it is. This note this morning on anti-tumor cancer-related treatment coming through from OCEA. UNCY, on the other hand, trying to make it 2 in a row, but still, same story, kind of grinding back towards this $2 level where it failed at early on this morning. We mentioned FCell, talking about reversals. That was an earnings report. $4 the high. We're back to $3.35 right now for FCell. That didn't last too long. And day number 2 for this one as well. Maxion did make a new high there above 28 this morning. It's actually holding up a little bit better than the rest. As I mentioned, the Russell 2000 seems to be better off right now. No new news. Additional news on MAXN today, guys, but relatively strong. Back over to you.
No new news.
Someone said
That's not
somebody
that hard
just
to say.
tickled Brendan under the desk with that laugh. So shout out to Bears versus Bulls for that one.
It's an honest reaction to some of these charts. That's the thing. It's an honest reaction to the chart.
Yeah, it's honest. But yeah, funny these charts for sure. Okay, so it's only 3:30 right now. Like, I could still put on another trade. We have about 20 minutes until those imbalances come through. You know what hit a brand new 52-week low today? Lyft. Right now, I don't. Oh, you know what? I was thinking about Lyft right there. I was like, lift off. So that was made me think about Virgin. So we can.
Oh.
What?
Oh no.
I don't know. Hopefully, Brendan doesn't see this chart because I mean, what? I mean, this Lyft is an.
That's not good.
Okay, about that one. Yeah.
What's a firm saying
Not
today?
bad. Not bad Lyft today. Not a great day to be a shareholder in many companies, which I'm a shareholder. By the way, like, I'm pretty much a shareholder in all of these companies, so this has been an absolute disaster. But the one thing that we did clear out of the way a little bit for our accounts on JP Morgan. Look at this thing breaking 130. We sounded the sirens for this name up here at 144. Not only that, we also gave that trade. You know, the Walmart trade at 150 short as well. That was a trade that we gave off earnings. Walmart short 150. You can see where this one's reacting all the way now, breaking back down through some of these levels. Today is not even the day of reckoning, man. I mean, this could get a hell of a lot worse starting ASAP. Apple as well, man. This name, wait till you see tomorrow when Apple gives up 150. It might give it up right now, and that is a downside push through 150 for sure. Here's Apple's chart again. I just think you want to push Apple 150 down. That's all. We'll see. If it gets there, I'm going short. I'm going short on all the key levels. So Apple breaking 150, I'm going to be there. I'm going to put that order in right now. We don't want to sit too much where we are lying on $1 right here for AMD. I still feel like we want to get some out if it gets back to the upside. So I don't know, man. I mean, we let down so many shares today, and we didn't hold enough all the way to the downside. Like, look at our last Apple out. I mean, we were short Apple today, and we got out when it went to 151. Why? Because it just broke higher. Like, that was pretty ridiculous. Look at the 50 period on the 1 minute. Should still probably be in this. So let's use that strategy for AMD. So here's AMD. So that's 84.25. We're going to use 84.25 as our out right there for AMD. So let's do that. Let's put that order in and just get out when that happens. So 84.25 for advanced micro devices.
AM Dizzle. So I don't think we're going to get the 100 break on SIVB, or at least if we get it, it's probably not going to be a time that I will take it. But there was the over-under on OCEA. This might be the shortest offensive of all time. So it just wicked that. I said 100. $11 level on OCEA. It just wicked it. I wanted to look for that over-under shorts. Kind of the way that these worked out. If it works, it works. If it breaks the high, then I make the top wick. Whether it goes further or not, that's up to the stock. I really don't care. I'm willing to make a top wick on these ones because it doesn't. When you make a top wick there, you're like, okay, that's absolutely fine. But this is not good until it gets to 1050 and then 10. So if it's going to fail, it's going to really fail. And that Apple 150, I think that's in play for sure. SIVB, I just said that I like that 110 that I didn't take the last time. I should be on this, but so part of the thing is, like I said, I have to leave a little bit earlier. I don't know that I want to put something on which might not resolve itself till a little bit closer to the imbalances. So this is resolving itself in the next couple of minutes, one way or another. It's breaking the high. It's testing back lower because that is a monster level at 11. So I know this is the right price where I'm not going to be holding on to this necessarily for the next 15 to 20 minutes. Whereas SIVB, it's now just dancing around that 110 level, and I'm not as convinced it wants to make a big move at this particular point. It's in a $10 channel. This hasn't really had a capitulation for an hour. So let's see what happens. New position, OCEA. I still have some of my Intel, obviously, but that one I want to give till 26 or the imbalances. We'll see which one comes first.
Meanwhile, guys, as Neil was talking, we just shorted Apple 151 right there. Well, 150.86. We just got out of that pretty quickly there. First out 70, so that was 16 cents. Next out, give it to you 66s right now. We're just going to go short against 151. I mean, pretty easy trade there for us on Apple. We're just going to wait to see if it does fall back in right now. I got to adjust this actually, because if we break higher, we don't need to be in this name. As we're trying to bounce off the 50 period right now, although we did get stopped out of our AMD, but that was on purpose with a nice trade there. We're going to wait. I mean, we can get a little bit more in Apple here. Where's my stop? 151 10s or so. Okay, I feel like we can definitely look at this. So here comes Apple coming right back in. I'm just going to adjust this because I want to get a little bit more shares up here. So if we can get something, like around the 90s, then we'll just try to hold this for another downside move. So there's Apple right there. It's 151. We'll give it a little bit more than that. So here we go. We re-shorted into Apple. And I mean, this name, short, collapsed down, got out there. We're back into the short right now for Apple downside. So let's wait to see where this name goes. But it's Apple, it's downside right now, and we're in it. So new position alert for me, Apple short. It's only in the money now, 15 cents, but hopefully it will fall back in, and then we can just zoom in a little bit here and try to respect this bottom. Do you want to get, where is this, 50, 45? Okay, let's put a bid. Yeah, I mean, I'm bidding 50s. So let's wait to see if we get some out at 50s. We'll do that, and then we'll go from there. But so far, so good here. As Apple, some nice downside pressure here.
So interestingly enough, you guys have probably never heard the term stickies, but I just had some sticky quotes on OCEA. So I didn't really intend on getting anything out in the 70s. I wanted to be starting to get out in the 60s. However, there was a sticky quote bid at like 82 on this thing. So when I hit bid enter, when I thought it was at 60 because it was at 60s, I ended up crossing up to like 82 and then getting a fill in the 70s. It's kind of weird, but that happens every now and then. So that's the only reason for those outs. It's shotgun down to 10. It kind of bounced off 10 there. So I'm pretty much out of this thing for now. We'll go with everything should be a flush down the toilet today. Every celebration could easily be because the shorts have been the better play. Even on a strong stock, the shorts have been the better play. So we waited around for it to do this, give you the up down, break 11, shorted underneath the consolidation. It came within 2 cents of breaking the high. Did not do so. It's now bounced off 10 even. I got to adjust my stop order because if it breaks the high now, I obviously have less shares. And that's the mistake I made earlier on NVIDIA. So if it breaks the top, fair enough. I just adjusted my order up there. Either breaking 10, I get the rest out. Well, you know what? Let me do this. I'll hold on to the last bit for a break of 10, maybe down to 950. But to me, 11 to 10 made sense on the risk to reward, and we'll see what happens with the rest of it. SIVB, if it does something, it's doing it without me at this point. Because, I would have been in for this. Like 100 break, why not? Like how many times are you ever going to see a stock that in the pre-market touch 200 and then you could take a 100 breakdown on a double bottom on the same day, and on top of that, it was a $300 stock a few days ago. Like the symmetry of that's just amazing, and it's showing you it's a pretty big level. Like If this was earlier in the day, I think you'd be in play for a break at 110 long. You'd be in play for a break at 110 down. But as a day trader at this time, I think that's a little bit tricky, just because there's not enough time for it to do a huge move for you. So it's implicitly a scalp trade. Even if the level says it might not be a scalp trade, at this point as a day trader, it's a scalp trade because there's nothing else you can do. So I'm going to have to walk away from that. It looks like we got some good outs in OCEA because it's kind of testing back into that high. Like, you want to be catching those fills because this is on a big time upward trend. Careful with this one tomorrow. However, all that being said, on the daily, and I can go back here, this is already a pretty big reversal that makes sense. There's your big move up where it does a huge multi-day pullback, and that previous high was like 11 change, so like 1150 or whatnot. So if it never clears 1150, this could be a short for a couple of days. Watch out for that level tomorrow. If I forget about it, then yell at me.
All right. Yeah. Well, hopefully we want. Well, tomorrow's gonna be a different day. Remember, because of imbalances.
That
Jobs,
report.
ADP. That's coming tomorrow
ADP
there
report, yeah.
on that one. Okay, just a quick update here because we're now at 90 cents in the money on SI. I just want to do the same thing that we've always been doing here. We're going to watch out for this level right here, the 50 period. So I'm going to get out right there at 330 right there. So hopefully that hits. We're going to just keep on holding it until we get out. So that's that. Apple. This really hasn't moved here, but we do have. Oh, Brendan gave us the number. Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned it.
I didn't.
Did not. Okay, so 358 to sell for the market on close and balances. So you're going to see them right here. Oops, I don't need to get rid of the time. I want to get rid of the source. Okay, cancel. So we have ARCA in here too, but we're not going to worry about that. That's the NYSE American market. CEI's on there. There was one the other day, not TRKA. There was another one that was on Amex that we often traded. So we'll just sort this by size there. Oh, I thought it was going to crash. So we're going to wait here. These are all from 9:30. Something must have halted in the middle of the day here. I'm frozen, by the way. My whole system is frozen.
My quotes are...
No, I'm literally frozen. Like, Apple's not moving. So you're going to have to go over to Neil. I have to figure this out.
Yeah, we'll let you figure that one out. We have the imbalances in about 10 minutes. We'll see what happens. Oh, I should have just... You can't have indecision in the markets, man. You can't. So, every now and then you're just like... It's the Ron Burgundy moment. Remember when he jumps in and he's like, I immediately regret this decision. He jumps in the bear trap. That's kind of what I felt on that 110 break. So we're at 340. I'm like, I can't really hold on to this. Just get out, whatever. So I get in, I get out. It does spike to 114. So I guess that was probably a win. You're probably getting some out. So could have given you like a couple bucks in there. Whether it follows through, look how quickly it reverses. I'll feel better. Well, if someone's long, then I don't feel better about it coming back down. But I'll feel better if that ends up a fail because I just kind of put that one off and was like immediately like, no, I don't want that. I do have to get out of here in 10 minutes actually. So I'm gonna think about how I get out of OCEA because this is a strong one, right? Like, it's making a lower high now, but it is kind of going. And Bitcoin Trader, that movie, it's from Anchorman. I'm right about that. It's Anchorman. He jumps in the bear pit. I immediately regret this decision.
Yeah,
that's Anchorman.
So.
I'm pretty solid with the movie quotes and movie references. I would say too solid. My wife tells me, it's like, how can you remember some random line from some ridiculous movie, but you can't remember like what day of the week it is? Like, I'm gonna ask and be like, tonight, is it Thursday? Am I taking Erin to gymnastics? She's like, you can't read a calendar? Like, not really, because I'm a little focused on other things at this time. It is what it is. But one thing we haven't done is
take this opportunity to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You won't be disappointed. There's lots of bangs. Of course, yeah.
So there we go. I just hit that one there. The market actually bounced off 12,000 while all this was happening. So I just wanted to quickly show you this. I left my 12,000 line in there because why not? If it's a good level, leave it on your chart forever, and then you never know when it's going to come into play. So there's a little bit of a bounce happening in the market. It is not necessarily happening everywhere. Tesla's retracing back to the lows. It is still early indication, 350 million to sell. We'll see what happens. I feel like that's the kind of number that could end up flipping given how far we've come to the downside. So I would kind of don't read too much into that number. And Dan Emmons, I will not forget 11,960. I think I should still have that one on my chart as well. We'll see when it gets down there. But Dan Emmons and the 11,960 on the NASDAQ, You know what? If it's not there, I'm going to be kind of pissed off. No, it's there. Yeah, Dan, it's right here. So I have the 12,000 on my chart. I have two sets of charts I look at. I have my 60-minute and I have a 15, which I kind of always am trading off of in the futures. But the Dan Emmons pivot line, I left it in there for you, buddy. It's actually closer to the even. I know you said 60, but I put it at 50 anyways. But 12,000's in there. Just leave them in. You never know when you're watching your chart and it reminds you, hey, wait a minute, we're at a big level. Maybe I want to take something out of a long or a short or whatever it might be, or look to engage something. So I got that one in there for you, Dan.
Yeah, we talked about that with Arun. Regardless of where the levels are, right? You still got to trade around it. So like Neil just said, maybe you want to hold something or do something or whatever once that does come through. So here we go. I'm going to close this right now. We'll look at it when it comes back through. But there's an Apple, another reload right there on Apple, right at VWAP, and then an out to 83. So we just got short. Well, we're short right now, 94, out 83. So that's a dime. Let's take another piece out right now. We have a good position on, so we're just going to keep on doing this as much as we can until it stops working. Nice out again for us down low. Let's see if we get something in the 70s, and then we can try to hold. But the thing is, we just talked about the imbalances. You know, we're now just minutes away from this, right? And I mean, if you just look, let's just look at what Apple did yesterday, for example. I mean, we might get stopped out even before this even comes through. So like, here's 350 yesterday, and it must have been a sell. It just collapsed. So hopefully we have a sell today. I don't know if I'll still be in this if that happens. We're going to get out just a little bit north of 151 on this one, but still collapsed all the way down, right? So you get a big sell imbalance. Like here's Apple rallying. So you're like, oh, I'm long. And then right there, that's 47. And then this rate here is 50. Bounces down there about 20 pennies, retraces, and then the move happens to the downside. So that's Apple yesterday. There's so many names that we can look at that are like this on the imbalances. So we'll have to wait to see. That's why we're out. We got a little piece out. If it comes back in, I'm thinking about just getting another one right now for a dime. Oh, we just bid 83. See what happens? We push 83, enter, the stock rips up. So hopefully we can get that 83 if it comes back down, and we'll forget that we have an order there. That's the idea. But here we go, back up to the upside right now, hopefully for this name. So, all right, so far so good, man. We're still waiting for that Apple. We've got SI. SI is Tank City right now as well. Not Rack City, Tank City, as there's the short that we have on SI. $4 to $3. You want to spin the money, KL? There it is again, man. This is $1 on $4. This trade is 25% in the money right now. So good trade there for me. Let's hold it, see where we can get out on this bottom there as the market looking to collapse here into the close. We did get another Apple fill. We still have 70% of this trade. So let's see if Apple wants to continue its march to the downside here, as hopefully the futures continue to reject this little level. I did have to log out and back into the system, but all good. We didn't get too hit on anything. There goes Apple. Yes, let's go. Choo-choo. All aboard the Tim Cook train as this thing is falling down right now to the, yes, let's go. We just reload. Wow, we just reloaded this thing, guys. Let's put another bid at 60. Let's go, man. That's the trade right there. Awesome. Nice downside move for Apple as it is collapsing into the close. Yes, we make it all back, baby. This is what we're doing, man. Told you I love this job. I don't know if you can tell, but there it is, 345 to the downside. 22 years of this crap, and hopefully 22 more.
Well, that's always the hope. It's like price. It's like, what's the line from my cold dead hands? That's the line I'm looking for. That's how you're going to get me off a trading desk. Now I have to get out of here pretty shortly, so I did just take some out of OCEA. I don't think it's going back to the top. It's probably going to flush at this particular point, and Intel's probably going to flush even further. But I don't think I'm going to have any time to work that one out. It's actually curling right now. If anything, I feel like this would be a short zone for me. Because what you can do here with the imbalances looming in 3 minutes is you just have a stop at 26.50. Like you go 26.50 stop, 26.40, but then what you're trying to do there is hold into the close. So you'd have to hold that trade all the way down into the bottom when I need to get out of here to catch a train. So what I'm going to do is move my stop. You're going to get Fahad in a couple of minutes, but I'm going to have a trailing stop right in here. So if the imbalances come out to buy, I'll get out at 45. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for however it goes into the downside. Just how far it goes is what I want to do. And if you're keeping count on SIVB, 110, so it ended up being right. Sometimes your spidey sense. I said I'd feel better about this if it went down, but that's not to say I wanted the stock to go down. Some people might have been long it. It's just that I didn't like it the second I got into it. I was like, what are you doing, Neil? The short is again good at 110. This thing's on a collision course with 100. I feel like that 100 break's going to happen like right at like 4 o'clock or something. So I won't get a chance to see it, but that should be wild. We'll have to have a look at this tomorrow. I kind of hope it holds 100, so we have a chance to trade this exact level tomorrow. You don't get $100 breaks in stocks that were at 200 very often. As a matter of fact, I've pretty much never seen it before, to be honest with you. Maybe I have, but I can't think of a time I've seen it.
All right, shut up and get out of here.
I have to cover something first.
All right. Okay. So let's just go on everything right now. So we're only now into 30% of this with only 2 minutes until the imbalance comes out. So you know, we're just going to get out of everything here. I'm just adjusting my stop order in case we do blow to the upside here. Good trade. We got a piece out. The market is starting to blast up just a little bit right now. So that's our Apple trade. Oh, we've rethought about our SI. We're just going to get out for that 25% victory, and we'll do a victory lap on that. If it breaks $3, we're going to get out of that one on SI. Look, SI could come with a negative imbalance as well. So here we go. Short SI right there to the downside. And we're just watching very, very patiently with Apple here. I'm going to put something down a little bit lower because if those imbalances hit, then we got to make sure that we have something to the downside. Just because we have an out to the upside, we should have an out to the downside as well if we do collapse in to this imbalance. So I'm going to put it a little bit lower. I'm in the 50s here, but we're going to get out at 151.10. I just hope I'm still in it as these imbalances fire off. So oh, crap, I only have ARCA here. I got to figure this out to get this back. Maybe I have to log out and back in here because I think, activate source. Okay, there we go. Now we'll get everything. Okay, good. So yeah, so we should be able to be fine with this. We're going to let this load up right now. Source, ARCA, disable. Okay, we should be okay. So let's wait to see how this. I just want to make sure because I had to log out and back in, so I'm not sure this. I hope this loads up for us. Trust me on that one. With only 30 seconds to go right now, it is Apple on board. Let's wait to see with only 30 seconds to go. SI still falling down. I don't know. Is there anything you guys want to look at? What's Coinbase doing right now? That is a NASDAQ name. $58 down 7%. I think the last we saw. Yeah, now down 8% here for Coinbase. I just hope these. Because I logged out and back in, I don't know if I registered for the imbalances, but we'll see here. Hopefully they do come out. Brendan, if you have them, I don't know if you're even logged in over there, but I just hope this will load up right now for us and go. Okay, good, it's here, so perfect.
It's there? Okay,
all right, so here we go. BAC, Brendan's gonna give us that number when it does hit, but let's go back over to Apple just to see what they're doing. Nothing. BAC, let's go over here so you can see the actual stock. Apple's a sell. So I'm actually surprised that this is holding out upside right now for this sell. Let's just take a piece. Okay, here it goes. Let's let this thing fall down a little bit. I'm going to take there we go. We'll take a mid-80s. Now we'll adjust our stop because that's fine. It's impossible for us to lose on this trade, but there's a fall down. We'll take another fill on Apple. BAC's a buy. Strange. Down 7% today is BAC. Amazon and sell. So there. I can't believe it. Like I'm looking at this, I want to throw up in my mouth because of course we were short Amazon 95s down to 92.50 right there. That's a sell. But look, just because it's a sell doesn't mean anything. It's still going back up to the upside right now as that's trying to hit. So that's Apple. JP Morgan also a buy. We saw that at 129.50 or so was the bottom for this one. Yeah, there it is right there. So a nice move upside for here. As there it goes, the market's starting to go back up. We are going to get stopped out, and there it is. We stop out for Apple. We'll slap a fail on holding the last piece, but trust me, this trade is not a fail as we get out for an amazing 11-cent hit, and we just took 11 cents just for fun right there as we go. So here we go, man. It's going to be a good one here. Let's just check out what SI is doing. Still down here. We can cover this if we wanted to, but I think we can just wait here. I don't actually, oh, there's SI. SI with 1.9 million shares to sell, so maybe it does come down. You know what? Instead of getting taken out by like a market order that takes out this $3 or whatever we were going to get out on, look where we are for SI, all the way back down here. Unbelievable move for this name. I feel like this could be an NFT right there. Short at the top of the day, out at the low. You couldn't even got a better price than this today, unless you were short in the pre-market, all the way back down. This is now right at the opening level, 290. All right, let's adjust our SI order and then just get out of this at 290 if it does break higher on that one. So SI 290. 291. What's going on, my guy? You have your mic set up yet?
I believe so.
Okay. How come I have to tell you to shut up when you're over there with Prad, but then you come on here and you're just all Mr. Cool Guy
What do you mean?
with a very, very low. There we go.
Can they hear me?
Probably.
I don't want my
Or is
beard
your
to.
beard
Yeah, I don't
scratching
want.
it?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
You know what you could do? Maybe you can attach it to one of these.
It's fine.
You're
I think
probably
it's
fine
good,
if it's going on.
How you
So-
doing, everyone? Well, you want me to start yelling or something?
No, this is perfect. I like this
Okay.
level. This is a good level for me.
Hello.
Nice and calm down here. We've got our SI trade on right now, and we're going to get out if that does break right there. So, yeah, man, about that food you had today. Sheesh, this guy, you
Brother,
showed it on the
man.
midday show. Which one was better, the tandoori hot dog or the
I didn't
Glizzy,
finish the
Philly?
second one actually, so I had a waffle with Nutella and caramel ready to go.
Yeah,
And
I saw you killing that waffle.
Yeah, and I ate 2 Jamaican patties right beforehand with the rice.
Could we explain what the reasoning for this is? Because you're working out every single day. You're getting,
Right.
you showed us the videos.
I'm getting massive.
You're already bigger than Sharif and Daroon.
Yeah.
That's why I like that you're wearing this, so hide everything underneath. But are you a little bit nervous about this diet and potentially not being able to race Neil?
No, because
okay.
I'll just pick him up and dash him away from the finish line.
When are we going to see
And I'll
Prad
still
there
win.
again? I don't know. I mean, I want Prad.
Bro, that looks so good.
Oh,
you see
shoot,
that? Put
I
that
missed
back.
it.
That's the menu.
This is what they're. So you had the thing on the left.
Yeah, I had one on the left, all the way that one,
And
then
then-
they don't have the picture of the other
What
one.
do
But
those things go for? $20?
no, $10.
Really?
Yes, it's so cheap. The burgers.
thought this place
no, right
only
there.
made
Scroll, look.
desserts.
Scroll up after samosa. Right there, the Hawaiian
It's
burger.
right there. It's right here. It's in the middle.
Oh
That is the
my
Hawaiian burger
day!
right there.
Look at it.
Piece of pineapple.
Look at
you
it.
got some. What is that? Some sautéed peppers? I don't know
Yep.
what
No
that is.
jalapeno. There's
Oh,
jalapeno in
jalapenos
it. There's
right there.
beef bacon strips. So it's just beef strips. So good, and their patty's amazing, man. It's better than the Angus beef
Oh, there it
burger.
is. There's the waffle.
My
was right there
God.
below.
Look at that.
There's
And
the
I had the waffle
You
with
ain't got no
Nutella.
fruits on your waffle.
No,
I
no, no.
noticed.
I'm trying to be healthy.
Trying to be healthy. I like it.
no
Great.
fruits.
That's now. Oh man, now we're getting a little bit hungry here as we go. Okay.
Savoring.
Yeah, there it is right now. Yeah, what's up, Fahad? Yeah, I called you the Palestinian powerhouse yesterday.
I love it. I love it. That was
Got you,
good.
man. I got you.
Yeah.
On that one. That was a lot
beautiful.
of fun there for that. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that we cancel pretty much all of our orders. Oh, we should have been out. There it is. Yeah, we just got out of SI. Okay, so cancel that one, and there it is, man. We're going to spin this for you, Fahad.
Money.
There it is. You had to spend some money to get that one.
Right.
Right there. But there it is, the out officially on SI. Couldn't be more pleased with that one. All right, Fahad, what do you think tomorrow? Jobs higher or lower than expected?
What's jobs?
The ADP. So what they do is they're saying that there was maybe, I think it's 205 expected on the number. So if it comes a lot higher, that means it's a stronger economy.
Okay.
So that's going to give the Fed more power to say we're going to keep raising rates because the economy is stronger.
Which is a bad thing, though, if he keeps
Bad thing
raising
for
rates.
us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so the market will go down.
That's
but
not
if
good.
all of a sudden the jobs market is weaker, then the Fed will do what?
He has to improve it, so therefore the rates will go down.
Right, they're going to
and
say,
the economy or the stocks or whatever market goes up.
Basically. So what do you think tomorrow? Do you think we're going to get do you think the market's going to be up or down on the jobs number?
Probably down. I know a lot of broke people out here, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, you don't want to throw too much shade at everybody. Let's go, Brendan. What do you got for us?
Coming up both tonight and tomorrow morning as far as earnings are concerned. Decent opportunities possibly to come tomorrow on this board.
All right, everyone's laughing at that one right there. All right, Oracle, you heard of any of these companies? I know you probably shop at Gap.
Oracle is isn't that
throw-
Golden State's stadium? Or I guess they own it.
Yeah, I think it used to be called Oracle, but
Oh,
it
they
might
might
be
have
now.
changed it. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it might be.
Yeah.
It might be right now. For
I know
sure.
Buckle because I'd be buckling all the ankles on the court.
Yeah, or
so
your
they're
own.
good.
Apparently
no, that's other people's.
Yeah, okay. Greg tells us a different story.
Wheaton, Gap, obviously Gap.
You know,
should I
Ulta
go?
Beauty, you can't have a good face like that without makeup.
Nope.
Okay.
I
so-
really do use face wash. You know, I just started like a week
I
ago.
use you gotta use
L'Oreal is that the company? L'Oreal.
Yeah, that's a company.
Yeah, I use their
That's a company.
charcoal face wash. It's working so far, I think.
Good, man. Well, you're a very handsome individual, so
appreciate
that
it.
is for sure.
HCI is pretty popular. I've heard of them before.
Okay, Smith
Yeah.
& Wesson.
Yeah.
You've heard of them?
Yeah.
Oh man, this guy's cracking me up every day. You guys, you have no idea. It's so much fun to work here. We're in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with only 3 minutes to go. Let's just do a quick little look here at the imbalances, because I know there's a lot of traders that do look at that. Right now, yeah, not much, man. SI still the sell of the day right now, and just continues to go. We did get out at 90, but I'm not going to fret over that. We didn't have a huge part left, but we did have something left on that right now. ACI is right there. I do want to check in on BlackBerry. This was a name that you had talked about, possibly as something that might work out in the new year for for an investment
Oh,
here.
BlackBerry.
It's actually done pretty good,
It
man.
is. That stayed
so
up.
It's
Look
actually
at
stayed
it.
up. It's not too bad. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see about BlackBerry. I'm not sure why you picked
Wow.
it, but it was a name that you did.
I was really interested that
before-
they went into cybersecurity, which is
Yep.
could be a big future for
I
them.
think that was about 4 or 5 years ago, but that was okay
Right.
for BlackBerry. Nice move there for them. Let's just check out on some of the ones that are heavily traded. So Apple right there, still all the way back down. So we got stopped out. That's fine with only 2 minutes to go. AMD is a very popular name. You know what? You talked about Netflix.
I did.
And not to say that you're sharing passwords or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
We'll move off of that. But Netflix today having a pretty bad day, down 4.5% right
Oof.
there. And look at this, from 370 down to 297.
Wow.
It's gotten cleaned up about $80 to the downside. Therefore, Netflix is only
Can you
2
check
minutes.
Amazon? What's Amazon doing?
Yeah, let's check out Amazon. I traded Amazon
'Cause
today.
at Amazon
I actually
Prime.
wound up losing money on Amazon
They're
today.
down
but,
only 2.
Here, let's zoom in. So yeah, Amazon's down pretty good here for the last little while. That's February 1st.
But they have a good support level right there, so it might not go down.
Look
that
at my
bad.
guy talking about support and resistance.
Yeah, it's
not
not
just
that
a
bad.
pretty face, but yeah, right down there, 90.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying. So I want to be short Amazon if we're under 95, and then long it if once we get to 90 is where we
Yeah.
want to go the long. So good job on that
Yeah.
for support and resistance. Okay, only a minute and a half left, man. Intel's collapsing down. BTC. Okay, you guys want to look at BTC? Let's quickly look at that. Do you know what BTC is?
Bitcoin.
Correct. Good.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
You
Come
are
on.
on one these days. Oh man, I just refreshed it. Hold on a second, guys. We don't actually have crypto on our system yet. We do have a very mini version of it, but it's not very. It's not like this. So there you go. Bitcoin absolutely collapsing to 20,000. This is a short, man. If you are long Bitcoin and you're nervous about it, you have the trade in your pocket right now to get the heck out at 20,000. And then, whoops, that's a 3-day. It doesn't matter. But here's 20 right here holding. Look what happens when it broke. It went all the way down to 16 and change. That is BTC on there. So there's the bottom there for 16. Looks like it wants to break below 20 again. So stay safe and stay cautious on Bitcoin is what I'm going to say to everybody
This
right
is
now.
a great comment by someone right here. Can we highlight this comment?
Sure, you can show your
Can you go to my screen, Brad? Please, that right there. Read it out loud for me, Sean. What does that
I
say?
can't. I don't know.
Just read it.
Fahad is absolutely perfect.
right? Michelle Meir, holla at me.
Yeah, holler at you.
Huh?
Oh.
Was that out loud?
That's what you said. I guess that's what you said.
I didn't
All
even
right,
say
Brad,
that.
Mark, somebody's got to get on this bell because we're actually. You want to go ring the bell?
Yeah,
Because we don't have- holler at you. Yo, clip that for this man's wife. Here we go with only a few more chances to go to the downside right now. It's only 10 seconds to go. There's Fahad and Neil running right here. 3, 2, 1. We are now closed. Watch out. Yeah, watch out for that. Yeah. There we go, Neil off count. That was Neil running to the train actually right now. So Neil running to the train. I'm gonna take my daughter as well, but I drive into work, so I'll be able to get home with hopefully a little bit less of a problem there. Where's my hoodie? You want me to wear a hoodie? Maybe I'll wear a hoodie tomorrow. Is it Friday tomorrow?
Friday tomorrow.
It is
Casual
Friday
Friday,
tomorrow.
let's
You want to
do
go? We'll wear a hoodie tomorrow for everybody. But yeah, really awesome, man. But yeah, that was a great close. Thanks for filling in for Neil. But let's go over to Brendan and see how we wrapped up.
Wasn't good. If anyone's just jumping in, yeah, pretty ugly at the end of it all. 2.6 here for the Russell 2000 to lead the way as far as declines. The composite, NASDAQ composite 2%. Plus 2.05, 1.8 there for the 100. So 1 plus kind of a day. That accelerated quickly after lunchtime, guys.
All right.
Yeah, babes. No, it was a joke. It was just a joke. I'm just doing it for content.
This guy's too much. Yeah, he's talking with his wife right now.
Yeah. I'm back
Okay,
on.
so
Hold
yeah,
on.
the 8-ball was right, Mr. Westermeyer. We talked about that earlier about would, but the 8-ball said only if Apple's negative. Remember, we asked it if the market would be up, and it said if Apple's negative, which didn't make much sense, but it did call Apple negative. So we'll do that next time. Thanks so much for anything you want to ask this thing.
Ask anything. Whatever I want.
You want to ask? Because I feel the power of Fahad might
my
give it
days.
a little bit of a better. You got to ask it, shake it.
I've never done one of these before. You know that. Ever in my life.
I don't
Okay.
know that, but now I do. I mean, you could.
Am I gonna make $1 million in the next 3 years? Please, man, please. Oh my God!
Hell no.
It says hell no.
That was hardcore. But
That's the first time you guys seen that,
You know why? Because probably 3.5 years. First time we saw that.
brother. That's
Now you're
I'm
spooked?
gonna put that down. Yeah, that's.
All right, good day in the markets,
Oh
man.
my.
Thanks for filling in.
Oh,
Now you're
I'm
shook.
shook. I don't know.
I just know what to do. I'm watching you on our screen here so I can see your reaction so I don't have to. Look, man, the 8 ball did you in.
That's.
You should have averaged something more. I mean, not that $1 million is unreasonable. That's very possible.
It's very possible.
It's
It's
just
just
maybe
I
if
don't know why he said no though. I had a plan going and everything. I got to revisit that.
All right, all right. So we'll see if there's any earnings that come out of here really quick. I mean, we can watch out for DocU or something like that. If anything does come out, we will holler at you, and Brendan will have anything that comes through like that. So, okay, it's going to be a good earnings day tomorrow. I feel like, Brendan, a lot of good names on there. Was there anything, we never asked you if there's anything specific maybe you're looking at. For me, it was DocuSign.
Maybe not earnings, guys, but it's Apple Day tomorrow. Apple Investor Day coming up tomorrow. So that's
Apple Day plus jobs.
That's going to be a big day.
Going to be a fun day. So make sure you get lots of rest.
Yep.
Okay, it's going to be a good day tomorrow. We had tons of trades today, man. It was a very fun day. Unfortunately, our accounts got wiped out. Not our trading accounts, but anyone that was long this tech rally did get a little wiped out here today. So we're going to wait to see what tomorrow brings. But it's 8:30. Are we going live at 8:25 tomorrow? You want to, Brendan?
Sure, why not?
Sure.
I'll
Okay,
be
sure.
here.
Why not? We're live tomorrow at 8:25. So join us then as we get ready to rock and roll with Jobs Friday coming in hot or cold. You're going to find out tomorrow live right here. No better spot to get the live read than right here at Trader TV Live. Thank you, Fahad. Why don't you close the show out?
From everyone at tradertv.live, this is Sean. I'm Fahad. That's Brendan. Prad. Shout out to everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:25.